There's this new program. It's still in beta, but we just got beta access to it. So you take your audio files and you drop it in, and it uses AI to like fix your audio, and it sounds completely professional.
Oh.
So
did you use it for Tyler's?
Yeah, Chris used it to help.
Because I was amazed at how
I know, because it was really fucking
it was
loud.
so loud. I thought we're not gonna be able to hear a thing on these microphones.
I know. I was really worried about it.
Yeah.
I was sitting there before you guys even got there, because we got there wicked early, right? It's like an hour and a half before we had said we're going to meet for podcast recording time. And I'm like,
no wonder
there's
you
all
had to
this
pee.
Instruction. I know. I had to pee so bad when we were done. I was like, oh my God.
Where did you end up going?
Well, I went over to Whole Foods.
You'd be able to buy something.
Yeah. And then they were like, you have to have a receipt code. So I came out of there, and then we went, where did we end up going? There was somewhere.
I went to the library.
No, we didn't go there. There was some other place anyway. Oh, it was like a coffee place. And so I went in there, and they needed a fucking code, but there was somebody working that was like right there, and he's like, I'll let you in.
Seriously.
And I'm like,
be like, listen.
Thank God, because like, I don't know if you can see it, but I am full up.
I could tell you were getting a little antsy. I'm like, is she okay? I thought you were worried about the sound.
No.
Now I know.
No, her bladder was
you know
full.
what?
You know, that big old coffee.
Honestly, that whole conversation could have gone for like half a day.
Oh my God.
And it would have
I
been
know.
amazing.
He was so
but it
good.
ended right when it needed to, because the phone batteries for the recording of the video part
Did it go?
were at like 3% when we were done.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we just made it.
Oh yeah, we gotta have him back on.
But we had
He
an
was
hour
so
and
good.
like 44 minutes, I think, of video recording time. Yeah. And then we were there for an hour and a half before we even
And you had
meant
that
to start
giant
recording.
coffee.
Oh, I had several coffees because we had gotten Starbucks on the way to walk over there.
Oh, jeez.
And then I had him go to, he wanted to get like a breakfast sandwich or something, and there was like a place right there. And I was like, get me another latte because I'm going to need some coffee. And yeah. I mean, just goes right through you, the coffee.
I could see it, and you were like,
Yeah, I was
doing this.
It was yellow.
Yeah.
Like everything was yellow. I was just like, I need to go.
She gonna pee her pants if she coughs.
Yeah.
or if you think about it too hard, then it's all over.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you're at that place in your life, but
Yes.
you
Oh,
know.
I'm very much. How about like?
I have to say to myself, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. Like,
go.
Why is it that you can hold
Waterfalls.
it
And you're like,
no for so long? You can do such a great job, but the second you get into the bathroom and you go to take your pants down, it's like it's over.
it's over.
You've lost
Too late.
any-
It's happening.
Yes. I'm like, how does that go? I do such a good job holding
I
it,
know.
and then you get there and it's like the brain is just like, okay,
It's
release
time.
now.
The
You're like,
toilet
no,
is right
not
there. You're like, just
made
wait,
it.
just
No.
wait, just wait.
Yes.
I literally have to talk myself through it.
Yes.
Don't go. You got this.
It's bad. Well, you know, and I told, I was like, babe.
That's what happens when you're old and you've had babies.
Well, and that's what PJ said, because I said, honey, you know, I've really reached a serious point in my life now where like I cannot wait. Like if I have to pee, I can't push it off anymore.
These road trips aren't
I
going to
can't-
work.
No.
Between you and
I
Max,
have to go.
Our
Oh.
traveling adventure was just that. Like it was bathroom to bathroom.
Is Max a peer?
Yeah.
Well,
a peer.
he's this
He's
type.
like an
So we're in
anxious
the
peer.
we're in the airport coming home.
Oh, by the way, we're the drama mamas.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Oh,
Kristen.
gosh, we
I'm
recorded
Angela.
her. Oh, and I'm Kathy.
Because we got to talk about these escapades.
Oh,
Yes.
I mean, because we got so much,
Yes.
so much,
So much.
Yeah. So we're coming home in the airport. We're hanging out, and there's literally like the best fucking bathroom you've ever seen in an airport, and it's right there. And we've
it's
been
gorgeous.
hanging out for hours because we had to arrive early, and you know we were lucky. Like you know, TSA didn't take 5 million hours to get through, and
super quick.
And
Yeah, we were quick.
we had called for a car service and had it all like set up, so we didn't have to worry about how are we going to get all of our people, because there was a bunch of us all together, flying together, sitting together. You know, so anyway, we had the car service come and pick us up early, and so we end up at the airport really, really early, like what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's fun.
So anyway, we're hanging out.
I had a
the
massage.
nicest, like giant bathrooms. There's no lines. There's no anything, you know, and this like airport with like all this food and everything. And so we're just hanging out for like a while until it's
Yeah.
basically time to get on the plane.
Yeah.
And everybody's like going to the bathroom. We're fine. It's time to go. One more stop. Now we walk
Yeah.
I don't even think we have walked 500 feet. Oh, it's another bathroom. I should go in.
Max is like,
I should go in here. We're not down to where the airplane is yet.
no.
Like, we're still in the, like,
Are you in New York?
area. Yeah, this is
At
in
Kennedy?
LaGuardia.
Okay, we were at Kennedy.
Yeah, in LaGuardia, which is a nice airport.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and if you've been in there, we were in that area where there's, like, a fountain, and it has projections in the fountain, and the water does,
Food
like,
court.
shapes and stuff. Yeah, there's a big
pretty.
food court area and stuff. But, yeah, so we're, like... We make it 500 feet, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another bathroom. We should totally stop and just make sure that's Max.
Yeah. Just
And
make
Kathy's
sure.
like,
You've
I gotta
destroyed
go
him.
now too. So she goes.
Me too. And then I think
And we're
TJ
like,
went
we
too.
literally walked 500 feet. Why didn't, and so Pinky turns to me and she's like, why didn't they just go when we were at the other bathrooms before we started walking? I have all our shit we're carrying. It's heavy.
I think we did go then too.
Then we get there. Yes, then we finally get down to the terminal. And they're like, okay, we got our stuff sitting in the chairs. You guys watch this. We're going to be right back to the next bathroom.
Oh my gosh, how'd you ever make the flight?
I know,
Oh, we did-
right?
I think Max probably peed twice on the flight. Yeah.
He's a nerve. You've ruined him. You've like now he thinks he has to pee every opportunity.
He's just like his aunt.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
Carol.
You've probably heard people say this about like your phone batteries and your electronics and stuff, right? Like if you charge it and you leave it on the charger all the time, then the battery life isn't as good.
Right.
Well, bladders, I read somewhere, are very similar to that. And so if
Trained
you're
said
telling
bladder.
him, oh, I don't know when our next bathroom visit may be, you should try now. Of course he can't fucking hold it.
No. And then I'm like, Gabs, do you have to pee? She's like, no, it's been like 10 hours, Mom. I'm good.
That's
Like, she
I know.
goes
Stella
forever.
can go forever. Like, are you? Get in there and squeeze something out because we don't know when our next opportunity is.
No.
I'm fine.
Yeah. When Pinky was little, she had a walnut bladder, but that makes sense, right? So, you know.
You have to grow into
She
it.
was walnut sized.
Yeah, she was for a long time.
Yeah.
Not just when she was, I mean, she's been
Yeah.
little for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, but now that she's older, I don't know if it's because I never see her actually drink anything, but yeah, she never has to go.
Well, you know, that's a good point too, because Max is an avid water drinker and Gabby is like the Sahara Desert. So, you know.
She's going to dry up
perhaps
like
that's
it's
what
kid
it-
shit. That's what we tell the kids all the time. We're like, y'all are never drinking any water. Never. You're just going to dry up, just shrivel up. When you're talking about how your skin is so dry, that's fucking why.
Yeah.
Like, drink
She's
something.
right. Yeah.
Not Coke. Drink
She'll-
something not Coke.
She'll eat without having like a drink. I'm like, dude, don't you need something to like wash
Okay,
that
so
down
I've gotten to
with,
this
baby?
point. Total derailment, but I have gotten to this point now where if I don't have a drink when I eat, my food doesn't seem to want to like go down my esophagus.
So you've trained that like she's trained her bladder.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I got a lazy esophagus now. I don't know what the fuck that's called.
You do.
Yeah.
It needs a little lubricant, maybe. I don't know.
Well, that's what the drink does. But if
Exactly.
I don't have it, like I feel like I'm dying.
Yeah.
Because I can
It
feel
gets
it in
stuck.
there. Yeah, I can feel it.
Old lady problems.
I know.
Our old
what
lady
the
problem.
fuck?
It sucks.
Getting old is the worst.
It really is.
No. It's all the testosterone. That's what we need. We need more testosterone in our lives.
No, I have that. I have
we
pellets
know?
because I do the pellets. My testosterone levels are good.
Okay.
You know, it's not that.
No.
I got my hormones right.
Maybe it's the estrogen. I don't know.
Or just old.
I think
just getting
just old.
Yeah, shit just starts breaking down. I don't have to understand why, but it is happening.
Speaking of breaking down, I haven't seen you guys in like over 2 weeks because you got sick.
did.
Yeah, with that New York Rona, ooh,
Yeah.
that's some potent stuff.
Yeah.
We took home a souvenir
Yeah. A very
to
special
say,
one.
yes, a very special
Look,
one.
I don't know about you guys, but we were extra diligent about like hand washing and stuff like that while we were there
Yeah.
and not like touching things like when we went in the subway.
Right.
I didn't touch like rails as much as I could. We got gloves, so we'd use the gloves, you know.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Didn't help. Still got
No,
coronas.
it didn't help. And, you know, we don't even really know, you know, how it even happened. I mean, my symptoms didn't even start till like 2 days after we got home. But
Somebody on the airplane.
it probably, yeah.
Yeah, but
most
Laura got
likely.
it too.
Yeah.
She
Me and Laura, I
did.
feel like we had it first.
Okay.
So, you know, we
did
were
you
neck,
feel sick while you
'cause
were
we
there?
were
Did
we
you
were neck
have-
and neck. It was like after we had got home the next day is when I started feeling it.
So Laura, when we saw them on Friday, because that's when we got the tickets for Anne Juliet and we went to dinner.
Oh, yeah.
She had seen Spencer, and when she was coming down and meeting us for dinner, she sat right next to me, and she was like, "Oh man, my throat's bothering me."
Oh,
I'm a
shit.
little
Okay, I didn't realize
sniffly.
that.
Yeah, and
All
I
right,
was
so does Laura.
Oh, dang! I don't know what that's all about. But it could have been. I mean, Jordan had some sniffles that
Right, I mean,
was
you-
coughing.
Okay, so
be an
we're saying it was
allergy.
the New York Rona, but it was the Lakeland Rona that hit us in New York.
No, because she had
No,
been there
I think she
several days at that.
Yeah,
point.
Okay.
I don't think she arrived ill.
Okay.
I think she got, and then I sat next to her at the theater that night, and I was like, well, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, at this point.
Yeah, and then she feel like poop on a stick the next day, and she had to travel that day.
Ugh.
Oh,
So that was not fun.
And you guys shared a ride to the airport.
We did.
And
Yeah.
and from the airport too. Like we had car service pick us up at our homes, take us to the Tampa airport. Then then when we arrived in LaGuardia, from LaGuardia to the Airbnb, which we will talk about in a
another
minute.
story.
Oh,
'Cause that is another story. But
yes.
before we squirrel,
Yes.
try to bring that in.
Yes.
And then we had to get 2 Ubers from that place to the hotel that we ended up staying
2
at.
Ubers.
Yeah,
Oh,
because-
Yes,
yeah.
there's 8 of us.
Because there was
right.
8 of
Luggage.
us and all that luggage. So, yeah. Then when we were ready to leave from the hotel to LaGuardia, and then when we arrived in Tampa, from Tampa back to our homes.
Okay, so there was a lot of together time.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of together.
we did.
Which is why we didn't get it, because we only saw you guys. I mean, we saw you on the streets all over the place, which was crazy. This
Yeah.
huge
I
city.
know,
we
we
kept
ran
running
into
into
you
each
guys at the
other.
Telling you, it's a weird. I've said this before to you guys, but like, it's the weirdest phenomenon. I grew up my whole life in Orlando, and never would ever bump into anyone I knew. Like I could literally, we in my neighborhood, go to the neighborhood Walmart, and I would never bump into somebody I knew. But I started dating Chris, and we would go out to like places in Disney, and he would bump into people from Polk County all the time. And I was like, this is the most bizarre thing.
Yeah.
And it has continued the entire time that we've been together, which is like, 20 something years now.
Yeah.
And and that we're in New York, and we see somebody from LCT's kid shows.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
How about getting on the plane going home? They were
Yeah.
in our line boarding our plane with us.
Yeah, somebody that you guys knew.
Yeah.
Michaela's friend was there in New York as well. She saw Moulin Rouge the day after we saw it.
Okay.
So that's something I didn't know. You can go down, and they will like down to where the pit and stuff is, where the orchestra was.
Yeah.
And talk to them, and they'll like show you around a little bit the pit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Really?
We missed
Oh
that.
man, that would have been
I didn't know you could do that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, because they were band nerds,
Right.
and she went down there. Yeah, Michaela's like, I wish I would have known.
Seriously.
Yeah.
know.
So the Airbnb, because we were supposed to have a lot more together time
Yeah.
than
were.
we did have, which we had
Yeah.
a lot of together time.
We did, yeah.
Because we did a lot of stuff together, like eating and going and doing stuff. But yeah, we were supposed to be
Like
in
living.
this like really nice Airbnb together, and
rooftop deck.
Oh,
It was
I know.
gorgeous.
Bedrooms.
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah.
Room to stretch out.
Booked it like way in
Yeah, like
advance.
way last year.
End of last summer.
Yeah.
We had booked it, so we were ready to go. Super, super excited about it. Was not cheap, right? Like, but we're going all out.
Yeah.
We're going all out.
It was like, this trip, we're gonna just like really.
Yeah, we're doing it.
That's why Chris posted that TikTok with the. Have you seen it? I've got $30,000 of credit card debt. It's that Peter Griffin one. Yeah. Anyway,
He's so funny.
if you haven't seen it, you should definitely
I'll
look at
look
it.
at
And
it.
it's just like pictures from our vacation.
Oh right.
Of all the fun things that we
Oh
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we booked it in advance. Everything was good. I had used VRBO, before. Had never had any issues whatsoever. And we actually have a family vacation coming in July that I've booked a VRBO. So hopefully that's all good. But anyway,
Learn that lesson.
yeah, really. So, everything's fine up until like the week before. I'm, reaching out to them because I don't have a telephone number, which it didn't even occur to me. I only have email, and they've been really good responsive. We're emailing back and forth. Yes, your trip's coming up, blah, blah, blah. The day before, you'll get your codes to unlock because there's no like key, right? It's all like padlocked and stuff. I'm like, okay, no problem. So 24 hours before we get that, and I had already talked to them about wanting to get in earlier because our flight had been changed. So we knew that we were going to be landing. Traditionally, check-in time was like 4 o'clock. And I had requested to get in like around 2. And they were like, okay. So she's like, well, we'll see. Check with me when it gets closer. So like 24 hours beforehand, when I got my lock code, I brought it back up and I was like, hey, you know, we're going to be arriving earlier. Is there any way we would be able to access the space earlier? And they were like, yep, absolutely. After your code will open for the door after 12 p.m.
So you have it in writing that they said.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's a whole email situation. Okay. So we do our thing. We get there. It's a great, cute little neighborhood.
Yeah, we're like, we're here.
Upper East Side, you know, great little building. Yeah, literally, we pulled right up and we're like, dink, here we are. We get out, we go to the building, enter the code. Perfect. It's like tiny. I don't know what I was expecting, but like the hallway was kind of little.
Yeah.
You know, I hadn't been in a New York building in a long time. Long time.
Like not a residential thing. Like,
Yeah,
it was new for us. Not a hotel.
No. So you go in and like the elevators are tiny. So I think we probably even had to take shifts.
Yeah, we did like, I think 3 loads of elevators
Oh my
going up
gosh.
with our luggage and
Yeah.
stuff.
Because we were on the 6th
So it was
floor.
like an
Because everybody had a
I'm
check bag, and
confused.
then we had like the stuff that we carried with us.
Right.
Yeah, it's like an apartment, like
Okay.
a VRBO apartment, but it's
Got it.
on the 6th floor, and it had
And
it's
7th.
a 6th. It's a 2-story with a nice big rooftop, you know, hangout, whatever. Beautifully done, as per the pictures. Okay, so we get up there, and there's only maybe like 6 apartments on each floor, from what I could see door wise. So we get up to. Doors right there. Deet, deet, deet. Hit the button. We're good. We open. Everything looks nice. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, I immediately noticed that there's dishes in the sink. And I'm like, okay, well, that might be a problem. But now I had the kids with me. Like
Yes.
the load that I was on.
You were the first one up.
Yeah.
Because she had she had the key. She knew where we were going.
Right.
So she was first one up.
Yeah. And the kids are excited. So
She goes in, closes the door.
I did.
We're coming up the elevator. There are other places on that floor. Oh, no. So we get up there.
They don't
doors
know which
closed,
one.
All the doors are closed. So it's us, and we're like,
where do we go?
where are we supposed to go? Somebody text Kathy. Tell her to open the fucking door. So we know where we're going.
Trail of breadcrumbs or something.
I don't think
Start
I ever
like knocking on everybody's like
told them, like,
door.
number 601 or something. I didn't know. So we're in there and I'm like, oh God. So then the kids, so I walk into like one of the back bedrooms and I could tell the bed wasn't slept in, but like the pillows were kind of tossed. And I'm like, okay, I don't think anybody's been here to clean up, right? So we go into the other bedroom because it's a 3-bedroom. And on the wall is from the
like
ceiling.
melting.
Yes. Like active water leak. Waterfall, like coming down. It's wet. Like you put your hand on it, you're like, oh, that's bubbling with
Like
the
the
paint.
drywall was all like liquidy
Oh.
from the ceiling down. And so the wall had a color to it.
It did.
But the ceiling was white, so like yours, but it wasn't blue. And it was like the ceiling had melted down the wall.
gosh.
It was crazy.
Wild. Yeah, it was wild. Meanwhile, it had, I guess, some sort of like an air conditioner up there that was right by it to the left. But you could tell that the water was clearly coming from the ceiling. And then it ran right within an outlet.
Oh,
It was right up
gosh.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through
So
the
it's-
outlet.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay.
I'm like,
this-
whoa.
So then I start to hear the kids that have, scattered.
they're
and they're checking out the
exploring.
place. And they've gone upstairs and they're like, Mommy! And I'm like, what's the matter?
Oh, sweet Jesus.
I get up there. Well, whoever had that space before us definitely partied their faces off because
There were whippets everywhere.
everywhere.
Explain what a whippet is. It's like a little
it's like a cartridge.
Should I I can't Google it. I was going to say, should I Google it? But I don't have my phone. 'cause It's
whipped cream
like
canister.
whipped cream canister.
So
yeah.
the things what we saw, and I'll just explain it, was like a cardboard box, clearly where you could purchase said canisters, and they look like a bullet, like a thick.
Like a have you seen CO2 canisters?
Yeah, like a
before?
little
Like
tiny
that's
one.
kind of what
Right.
they look like. It was a box full of those, and they were all green.
And then on the bed, which was still unmade and atrocious, was this big like.
It almost kind of looked like when you go to
Looks like a little mini
Starbucks and they
oxygen
do
tank.
and they
Yeah,
do
yeah,
the whipped
yeah, yeah.
cream. It kind of looked like one
So
of
that's
those.
how you use the whippet.
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah, so it had all of
Probably
that there.
should like include a tutorial video or something on that, just so that
We can put
if
the
you're a
pictures
parent
on.
and you don't know.
Yeah, if you see
Yeah.
this in your
We can put
child's
the
room.
pictures
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to send me. I don't have any of those pictures.
Oh,
if you took.
I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I immediately started taking
I
pictures.
was too much in shock to take pictures.
Yeah, so I'm pissed. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't it.
No, there's plenty.
There was
like a rubber glove, like a blue, like a glove that I would use at work.
Right.
Just one on the unmade bed. I'm like, okay, what are you doing that you need a glove? But whatever.
because you don't need a glove for whippets, I don't think.
No, but
No, lots of like other drug paraphernalia within the room.
Yeah,
okay?
there was a thing for which we had to Google to figure out what it was, but it was a container. It was empty, but it was for like gummy edibles, like marijuana edibles, which, when we got to New York, it was like, there's no way we didn't have a contact high the entire time that we were there.
we would walk down the street and I'd tell my kids, don't breathe, don't breathe, don't breathe, don't breathe. Just get past this puff of smoke.
Exactly.
I had no idea.
Yes,
I was like,
I
how
remember
are
that
they
from
like
last
getting
year.
away with that? Like the cops don't care because it's fucking legal recreationally. I had no idea. Like the whole
you can
Northeast.
smoke a joint wherever you
Everywhere.
can smoke a cigarette. It's crazy. So so there's that, and then you go into the bathroom and it's disgusting. There's like vomit on the floor. Like it was just gross. So I took pictures of all of this.
Oh, and the lanai up there had just whippets and like stuff. They just partied up there.
They partied, and there was a lot of brain cells that were damaged. I'm just saying. Because
So the
They
leak,
partied so much they didn't clean them up.
we were
clean up
worried the
after
leak
themselves.
was coming from the bathroom. So like, we were like,
Yes.
well, we're not staying here where the leak is like poo water or whatever.
Right,
So I kind of like evaluated it. And she's trying to track down the owner through, because all she had was the email contact. And I'm going up there and I'm like, okay, the leak is here. So if I go up the stairs here, it can't possibly be from the bathroom. So then I went up there and I'm like looking and I'm like, it's from the lanai. And I could see the lanai didn't have like,
no
it wasn't
drainage.
flat. It was like when you have a flat surface and it kind of, ripples, pooled water had been there.
Right.
And it was obviously causing a problem.
Yeah. So we had a bunch of different situations going on. We had to at that so while we're there and then the rest of the adults arrive and everyone's looking at the stuff. We're telling the
Yeah,
kids.
Kathy finally lets us in.
I did. I was like, you guys have got to see this.
She's
They're
like,
what?
been up there for 10 minutes already.
Yeah, sorry about that. And so, now I'm telling the kids don't touch anything,
Right.
Because I don't know what what is
Body
around. There could
fluids.
be
Well,
there
our
could
kids
be
are all like
syringes.
drugs.
There could
Yeah.
be fentanyl.
It was
Like,
just
we don't
that
know.
news story, about the people that went into like a VRBO or whatever, and their kid died from a fentanyl overdose because they touched something in the VRBO that hadn't been clean that was contaminated with it.
Yeah.
So we're like, don't touch anything.
Yeah, because now this place is a wreck.
So now the kids are also scared because we just told them, don't touch anything.
Yeah. So now we have 8 people, all of our luggage.
Oh my gosh.
We're trying to figure out as adults, like, what do we do at this point?
Yeah.
Like, what are even our
What do we
options?
feel comfortable doing?
And in comes like a team of 4 cleaning people. And they're like, hey. And we're like, hey. Okay. Like, obviously you guys are here to clean. They're like, oh yeah, no, don't worry. We'll take care of the whole
all of it.
thing. Like it was no big deal. So they just start cleaning. And so we said, you know what? We're going to leave you guys to it. We're going to step out into this little mini hallway here and we're going to figure out as a team what we're going to do with our kids. And we'll leave you guys to it. So then we start discussing everything in the hallway. And, we're trying to be rational about it. Like, we understand when you stay in a hotel or whatever, you don't know what's happened in that room before you get there. We get that.
Yeah.
But it's a whole nother thing to, like, walk in and see it.
Now
as
you
such.
know.
Yeah.
Correct.
You can't unsee that.
No, exactly. So we
And
decide,
the melting wall. Let's
Yeah.
not
Well,
forget
that's-
about the melting wall
Yes.
over the outlet.
which was actually more of a bigger concern.
It really
Like,
was.
you could clean everything up. You could make it great.
Or if we wanted to hang out on the lanai and somebody like fucking falls through.
Yeah, that might be a problem.
Like, that's an interesting podcast recording, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Oh, there goes
We were
Kristen.
going to record.
Hey.
She was there and then she went whoop.
Yeah.
And then she wasn't.
So we stripped away the dirty part and like the rest of it. And we were like, okay, you know what? This is just an unsafe place to be. So we went ahead. I'm trying to contact my person. Okay. They all start working on trying to get alternative housing for the week.
Spring breaks.
Yeah.
That's not an
Spring
easy
break.
task.
And it was St. Patty's Day weekend
Yes.
coming up. And so, yeah, it was not.
So we immediately
Ideal.
like got together. I think we worked that out really well as a team too. Like we, somebody was like, okay, kids, you gotta be quiet.
I stood there and I let PJ and Chris like do the
Kathy was
research.
probably like this with her fingers.
No,
I was all
he
on it.
was.
Oh, I was blowing them up.
That's what I was telling my family, like, oh, Kathy's on it. Don't you worry, guys.
Well, I
I know.
remember when we had walked in and I had to use the code at the bottom door that there was 2 people's names with a phone number. And I was like, oh, that person's name is the same name that I email. I wonder if that's her number. So I had gone downstairs, screenshotted the phone numbers. It was a girl and a man, woman and man's name. And I tried to call it. Of course, it went to voicemail, whatever. So then I started harassing the cleaning people. And I was like, listen, I need to know who hired you for this. Who was the contact? They're like, oh, we can help you. So they send me a number. It's not an American number.
Oh.
It's got 5 extra digits. I said, no, that's not going to work for me. I need like an
I
American
wish I could have just sat back and watched this.
Oh, girl. They were like, you can't tell her. You can't tell her that we gave you this number. I'm like, I won't tell them at all. You just go ahead and give me the number, So they did. I called. I got nothing,
Yeah.
Went to voicemail. So,
Well, I never answer numbers I don't know either.
no. So,
Yeah, because I hate talking on the phone.
no. I know she does. I call her all the time. I just did it
All
to her
the time.
last
She
week.
just did, yes.
I didn't get a call last week.
Oh, I did because I needed a favor. So I was like, hey, can you help me out?
The headshot
Oh,
stuff.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was that call.
Yeah.
She's like, look, I know you don't want to talk on the phone,
So I'm going to get down to business.
Exactly, I did.
Yeah.
I was like, the reason for my call.
but I am driving because she calls everybody while she's driving.
I do, yeah.
It's always. I don't think I've
Usually
had a
I
phone
drive
call
through
yet
in
where
there.
you weren't in a car.
No.
And
drive
that's
a lot.
it's good. You're being safe.
Yeah.
Good
I'm
for
a
you.
I'm a safe person. Yeah.
I still don't like the phone.
I know she doesn't. I felt so bad for her too. Oh, anyway, so finally I'm emailing them. I'm like, listen, this is not this is what we got going on, blah, blah, blah. And then it was like nothing. So I didn't get a response back, but I tried to make it very clear, listen, we are not staying here. This is not safe. I sent them all the pictures, the whole 9 yards. We're having to find alternative housing for our vacation for the week. This is, extremely inconvenient, blah, 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 blah. So they're all trying to find a room. And then she emails me back and she's like, well, you weren't supposed to get there till 4. Okay. And I was like,
Bitch, listen.
oh,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Don't even.
Listen.
She
Other
looked full
than that, I did.
Like not halfway.
Did your hair automatically puff
Oh
up?
yeah.
my
It
hair
went-
automatically.
The back got real short all of a sudden, real spiky,
It did.
and then this piece
Her nails got long.
goes like this behind the ears.
Yeah. And I was like, listen, lady, this is how this is going to go. Okay.
Hulked out. She Karen'd out. Hulked out.
She did.
She didn't go
And I
green.
was-
She did everything.
And I was like, listen, this is not safe. We're here with our children. And you told me I could be there anytime after 12 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not even going to go there, number one. Number two, let's talk about that nasty leak that's going on that's active. Okay. Now, again, I remind them that we are not staying there. We are not taking ownership of this place. Our things are not even going in there. We are leaving this residence. So then the next email I get is, oh, well, if it's okay with you, we're going to go ahead and have the roofer come and the plumber come and check it out and let me know if you want it to do before or after checkout.
It's fine with me because we won't be there.
Correct.
Yeah.
I said, we aren't there.
Fucking read.
So now I'm
already
concerned.
told you this.
Exactly. I'm concerned because they're not picking up what I've been putting down. And I don't know how else to say it in professional, clean.
Seemed clear to me.
Yeah, it did. I know. So, I'm still worrying about that. And then I was like, you know what? We're here to have a great vacation. We'll settle that up on another time. They're all working on a safe place for us to be. We found a great hotel.
Yeah.
The location was fantastic. Couldn't have asked for a better situation. As far as being able to quick and do it and not have to spend another, $10,000.
Yeah, the only thing that kind of sucked is they only had 2 rooms that we could, feasibly be in.
Right.
And,
and they were small.
Per. So with the first stop once we checked in was hit the nearest Target, which was just a couple of blocks away, and get a couple of air mattresses, which I know your kids just slept with you guys in the bed, but our
did,
kids
yeah.
do not do that,
Yeah.
which is totally fine by me because when we have had to do that,
Yeah.
it is rough.
Yeah, nobody sleeps.
Yeah, and Pinky is the worst bed hog.
Oh,
she
yeah.
knows it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And these were double beds. These weren't even
Yeah, they weren't
queens.
even. Yeah, they
Oh,
were
I can't even do a
full-size.
double bed by myself.
Yeah,
it
they
was,
were.
It was rough. I felt like
they
I
were
could fall
doubles.
off the side every time I rolled over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
That
was.
doubles. And the rooms themselves were tiny. So, but it worked out. We did it okay. We stopped at Target. We were like, let's get some things. Let's get some. Now, packing for a vacation where you think you're going to have a kitchen and like laundry services.
Yeah. You think you're going to be able to wash laundry?
Yeah, and especially when you're going to a cold
Pinky
climate.
was not upset by that, though. She was like, I get to go shopping in New York.
Yeah, we did. We went shopping several days. So, that part put a little hitch in it. But we learned, I mean, the hotel room had like a microwave and a little refrigerator. So, we got some snacks and stuff like that. So we were able to
We
make
bought
it
snacks
happen.
and we didn't eat them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we had
we eat out
chips.
so much to the
Yeah.
point you're like, I can't eat another thing.
Yeah, we did pretty good with that piece. We probably just ate too much. That's probably PJ does not like to waste anything. So
No, he
he's
does
like,
not.
he was eating this
that
macaroni and
sandwich
cheese.
from the deli.
Oh, he ate that. I'm pretty sure he ate
Well, he
both of
kept
them.
saying to Chris, like, yeah, I got a half of that sandwich there for you, buddy.
Yeah, he was waiting
Chris is
for
like,
it.
it's okay. You can eat it. It's
Yeah.
fine. Like, you go for it.
Yeah, he's big on that. So anyway, within 24 hours, I had gotten a much better response from them where I felt like they understood where we were coming from and that we weren't going to be staying at the space and that, I could be expecting a refund. Of course, throughout the emails, I had to let them know like, hey, I'm going to need this taken care of ASAP. I would like a refund in the amount of such and such. Had to spell it out.
Yeah.
Make it really clear so there wasn't any
No vague. I need a full refund.
Right.
Shit. Like,
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah,
spell
that
out
was
how much
smart.
you spent.
Yes, how much it was. And, unfortunately, if this wasn't taken care of ASAP, I would have to take it to the next level, So I definitely was threatening in that matter only because I felt like I had to be.
Because they were being intentionally obtuse.
Yes, they were. Absolutely.
Well, it takes one bad review with pictures on VRBO to destroy that place.
yes.
So
yes.
you don't want to have to go there, but if you can't get
No.
the answers you're looking for.
So they said the refund would be coming in 10 to 20 business days. So I was like, okay. And I'll never forget because we were sitting watching Hadestown when I finally got that email. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like, at least they're mentioning the word.
She'll hit, oh.
Yeah, it's coming.
The phone,
Yeah. So fast forward, like within a week or so, VRBO, which I didn't even realize, but charged like $700 and some of that total went to them. And they had returned that.
Good.
So VRBO took care of us right then and there. So it was actually from the actual, I guess, landlord or whoever those people are, the management company. Is who we were waiting. And so last Friday, not just this past Friday, but the Friday before, I was like, hey, it's been 10 days. Just didn't want y'all to forget about me. Is there any way that you could...
Being sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to be sweet.
I haven't puffed up my hair yet.
No, it's nice. It's good now. Could you just give us a status on our thing? And they're like, oh, it's already been processed. And then I was thinking, oh, those MFers. If they're trying to tell me that $700 from VRBO is what they're refunding me, we're going to have issues. So they were like, no. So I said, okay. I'm like, well, thank you for that. But can you please tell me the amount that is processed for my, refund? And they told me the amount and I was like, okay. And it matched.
Okay.
So the numbers matched. So I was like, okay. So that was that like Friday, like before 12 o'clock. Well, don't you know, Friday before like 4 o'clock, I had a processing coming through, a deposit coming through my bank for that amount. And it sat there like all weekend. Like my bank was just not wanting to do anything.
Well, they don't do anything on the weekend.
No, it was just sitting there. And then
It's
what was it,
automated.
Monday?
They don't have to do anything.
No, whatever day I texted you, Monday or Tuesday, it took a little bit.
Yeah, it finally cleared.
And finally it cleared. And I was like, hallelujah.
That's so, like, you've looked forward to this for months.
I know. Well, we were so excited to have that space to record too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was
And
like,
just to
oh,
hang
this will
out
be great.
Yeah, and it's be
We'll
like the
have,
first thing you
the faint
encounter.
sounds of New York, not the
Bryant Park.
street sides.
Oh my gosh, that was so loud.
Yes. And we wanted the kids to experience like being in New York, not necessarily being in Times Square all the time, but like being,
Yeah.
more residential.
We stayed in Brooklyn. It was so fun because
I
it's
wanna
like
hear about
so
your place.
smaller. I mean, the buildings are only 6 or 7 stories high compared to 30. Yeah, it definitely has a more like family feel to it. It was really nice. Yeah.
Aww.
We loved it.
It was multi-story too, though, for you, right? So
5.
you had a taste of having
It
stairs.
was like a brownstone, right? Wasn't it a brownstone?
Yeah.
Situation?
And you would get down to the kitchen and be like, oh, I forgot my phone or something. I mean,
hike it back up the stairs.
I'm a fairly in shape person.
Yeah.
And by the time I would get back up those flights of stairs to the bedroom, I was like, I don't know what it was. They were skinny. They were narrow. They were longer than usual.
That's what's weird about New York. The stairs are like that.
Yes.
They were like that in the Airbnb too.
Yes.
They were taller.
Yes.
And it was more narrow, so you definitely felt like if I fuck this up, it's not going to go well.
I know. I'm trying to drag my
building code's a
suitcase
little bit
up.
different.
I mean, it was beautiful and it was wonderful to stay there. I'll tell you what, if you'd have to really think ahead every time you came down those stairs. Like, do I have everything I need? Because you'd sit it, and there was like so many floors that you'd get up a couple floors, like, okay, whew, I made it. And then you'd look and you're like, oh crap, I still got another floor to go.
Yeah, you're like,
it was
I'm not
very,
even where I need
yeah,
to be.
it was very.
How many stories was it?
It was 5 livable stories and then a basement.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And your bedrooms were on the top?
They were on the 4th. There was like a loft above it.
Oh, okay.
A really cool loft. Yeah.
Did you guys go up there very much?
No, I mean, we were hardly there because we left in the morning and we didn't
Yeah.
come back till after the shows at night. So we'd slept there.
Right.
So no, we did not spend a ton of time there, but
That would have been pretty though.
yeah, it was nice.
They need like a dumbwaiter. You know, those
That's
things.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I'm like, all I kept
Climb
thinking of
in
those
it and then go.
wheelchairs that like take you up the stairs.
hell yeah.
Or not a wheelchair, I don't know what it is, like a chair.
Yeah. The old,
Like
like,
from,
man.
from Poltergeist,
I could
when
use
it
one
would
of these.
slide down the stair. Do you remember that? The lady, the ghost, would get stuck in the chair and it would come
do not
sliding off.
remember that.
All right, y'all need to go watch that movie. But yeah,
No. All I'm thinking
maybe
of
it's
is
Ghostbusters.
Exorcist.
I'm getting
and
them
she
mixed up.
well, actually, so I never saw The Exorcist until I was an adult, but I saw Devil in a Blue Dress as a kid, which is the spoof of The Exorcist.
I was going to say, I don't think that's a scary one.
No, it is not. So then when I saw The Exorcist, all I could think was Devil in a Blue Dress. So it was way funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now, like, that's what's coming to my head is when she, like, bends over backwards and, like, down the stairs.
Yes.
I'm not remembering what you're talking
this
about.
is the one in like the actual chair. The lady
Yeah.
gets like stuck.
It was irritating because you would scream down and be like, bring my phone. And nobody could hear you.
They
And then
didn't have
you'd
an
call
intercom
them,
system?
and you'd have your phone to call. No, there's no intercom. I mean, you
Well,
literally
you
could
had
not
to watch
hear.
at least.
True, I didn't think about that.
Go figure.
Anyway,
Go
it was
figure.
very nice staying in Brooklyn. We enjoyed it. We took the subway everywhere. That was so fun. We even took the subway back to the airport on the way home because we had taken an Uber from the airport to the place. And I'm like, why aren't we taking the subway? You know, it's like there's no traffic. You know how long it's
Yeah.
going to take. It's a third of the price. And it was so easy.
Like literally a third of the
Yeah,
price.
literally.
So our first morning there, so my kids are like, we all want to eat like when we get up, and they're early risers and whatever.
I know y'all found
So-
that. We found that diner, and y'all just kept going
Oh,
back.
we did, 'cause
I
it
was like,
was
find a
great.
new place, y'all.
No, it was perfect. They knew us by the end of the week. The guy was
Jeez.
like, 4? Yeah, okay, come on down. You know, it was great. But anyway, the first morning we were there, Chris had come down with PJ because he was like, let's go get some coffee. So it
Yeah,
was like
because I
these
can't
trucks.
start the day without coffee. And there's a Starbucks right there.
Yeah,
So I was like,
which is nice.
Go get that.
Yeah, that's what we did
He's
last
like, you
year.
don't want something else? I'm like, no, I need that coffee. We can go and have other coffee later.
But you know you like that because there were several times like, look, we're not going to do Starbucks every time. We're going to find these little places. We're going to try local business. And I was disappointed every time. Like, screw that. We're going to Starbucks.
Like, listen, we tried.
That chai was gross. It was like milk with a quarter teaspoon of something.
So I always order a macchiato. And I thought, I'll order a macchiato at this place. And I order it. And he's like, well, before I make this for you, he's like, what do you think a macchiato is?
expectation?
You know, I'm like, some espresso and some milk and a cup. No. Apparently,
it?
macchiato
Yeah.
is an espresso shot with like a splash of
Like a
milk,
little itty bitty
cream or
cups,
whatever.
like
yeah,
they
the
do in
little
Italy?
cups with just a little splash of milk.
you're
I'm
like,
like,
no.
bitch, that's not a
No, that's
macchiato.
not,
Like
that's not a venti.
I said, that's not what Starbucks has. And he kind of rolled his eyes. and
I'm
I was
sure
like,
he
okay,
did.
Well,
He's probably like, this is legit macchiato.
yeah.
You're getting the Starbucks.
Yeah, it was like some Italian place.
Oh, yeah,
And I was like, okay, so
Yeah.
what Starbucks has then is what? A latte? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, in Italy, they literally give these little tiny cups. You sit there, you pound it, and you walk off.
Like
There's
little
no
shots.
like sitting around.
Well, I
and-
mean, you don't really have time to sit there in New York, right? Like, you got shit to do.
yeah, you do have lots of stuff to do.
Yeah, you do.
We saw some good shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys love Hadestown?
Oh, it was my
Wasn't
favorite.
that yeah, that's how
I mean,
felt.
it was a really tight race between that and Moulin Rouge. So
Hadestown just like sticks with you.
It really
like,
does.
It gets in your
It
soul,
does.
and you like carry it for a few days.
Yeah, and you think about it because the
Yes.
ending is not necessarily what you know, not to spoil it, but you know, it definitely is thought provoking and it makes you think about that. The shows that we saw, so the Hadestown, we saw Moulin Rouge and Juliet and Harry Potter. I felt like they were just all kind of different, you know, so it was hard to compare. But I enjoy like the jukebox musicals because then I know all the music and it's fun and when they're
it's more like it
dialogue
feels
is
more
like
spectacle too.
Yes,
that was a
yes.
huge
It's like a show. I mean, Moulin Rouge is a legit.
From the second it starts, you're like, boom.
Yeah, like
It's
you
no letdown.
You sit down in your chair and you're mesmerized. You know,
Yes.
the set itself.
Yeah, because
is
the people are
just-
coming out and walking around the
Oh
stage.
yeah, just the red. You know, the big red.
Yeah.
ambiance.
You're surrounded by it. You're part of it. That's really fun too.
That was great. So we enjoyed every single show. I would recommend them all to everybody. Yeah, it was just
Wouldn't
it was
be
nice.
such a bad thing if they gave you just a tiny bit more leg room to sit. Because I felt like I was so nervous that if they moved in front of me, I was going to be like knees in their head. I mean, you've got a really, you know, good line of view to the stage because they're so sloped. Yeah. But I was like, oh God, just don't move down there when you're down there. Just don't move. I'm gonna I don't want a knee in the head.
We went to Little Shop of Horrors off Broadway, and that was a teeny tiny little theater, which was fun. It was very intimate.
Yeah.
I mean, the lobby was like the glass lounge at LCT. That's how big it was.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the same way, like my knees were up in the other person's ears, like trying not to move the whole time. It was really good. We really enjoyed that. We didn't love MJ.
Really?
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that makes me sad.
I know.
So what about it? And we had high hopes for that. And
We did
didn't see
too.
it.
The dancing and the music was amazing.
Okay.
Like the guy that plays MJ. There was a little one who was adorable. He was like 6 or 7. He was little Michael Jackson. He was as cute as could be. Could sing and dance like
You're looking to cast that right now.
I'm sure, because he's probably about to grow out of it. And there was a teenage one, and then there was the grown-up one. And the teenage and the grown-up, they spoke like Michael Jackson did, so very soft and very high, and it was really hard to hear what they were saying. So we were like missing half of the dialogue.
Yeah, that's hard.
But when it came to the singing and dancing, like Thriller, I could watch that all day long. It was crazy good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The Michael Jackson dancer, I think his name is Miles Foster. I might probably get that wrong, but the guy, he won the Tony for it. He would like fall on the ground and like bloop, pick himself back up without no hands or anything and keep dancing. It was, oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
Wow.
But the whole time behind us were these 4 or 5 old ladies talking the whole time, always wearing the glove. He's got the glove on now, Sylvia. Do you see the glove?
Oh my God.
What's he putting in his mouth? He's popping a pill in his mouth. He takes pills. Didn't you know that? I'm not kidding you, the whole time. And the louder it got, the louder they got. I was like, you know, give them the looks. They didn't care. They didn't. Where's Gary? Gary left at halftime. Where'd Gary go? Oh, Sandy's not doing well. This is what they're saying. Sandy's not been well lately. I think he went home. Oh gosh, look at the time. We got reservations at 5 o'clock. I'm like, would you shut up?
Oh my God. I feel like they needed a pill.
They did. The whole
Turn around.
Oh,
Seriously,
Angela.
shut the fuck up.
I was like, did you
exactly.
see the move she just did right there? I do that in yoga. I go every morning, 5 days a week.
Silver sneakers. Wow.
It was like random association. Anything they saw, they decided to have a conversation about. Like, I didn't hear it. I'm like, oh, how did you not? Because you know me with my sound. With the nose whistling.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't want to diss the show.
But that just ruins the experience.
It did. It ruined that, and we couldn't hear very well. And then the music and dancing.
Now, is the whole
Amazing.
concept of the show, does it talk about his life? Or does it just bring him through music?
Have a plot.
Yes, it definitely has a plot. It follows his life story, kind of from his point of view, how his father was so abusive and the struggles he went through and the press and all that. It kind of downplays a lot of the controversy. It doesn't really get into all of that. It's more about how he developed his music and where he got his ideas from. And so, I mean, it's very interesting.
Right,
It just,
more creative direction.
yes. You put that up against Moulin Rouge and...
Yeah, it's not going to hold a candle.
6 was fabulous. It's neck and neck for me between 6 and Moulin Rouge.
Really?
Yes.
I
6
would
is really
not
fun.
expect
I know. I did not expect it either, but you're engaged the whole time. You're part of the story. There's no fourth wall. Like, they're talking to you the whole time, and you're voting. You're supposed to be voting on who had the worst life with Henry, and
Yeah.
it all becomes about women's power and why do we define
Yes.
ourselves by our man. It was really good. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Well, that's interesting because we watched part of that, like a slime tutorial or something for Six. Mm-hmm. I don't know, maybe a year ago. I didn't pick up that was what was happening. when
I
we
didn't
watched
either.
it.
And we listened to the music over and over and over,
Yeah.
and I had no clue that's kind of how they strung it all together.
Yeah, well, definitely not in the music. Like we
Yeah.
put it on in
Yeah.
the car all the time with the kids, and I've never picked up on that either.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the songs are definitely, as the kids say, bops.
Yes.
But just show my
Yep,
age
they're
there.
all explaining their story with him and why they had it the worst,
Yeah.
and why they should win this contest.
Oh, Anne Boleyn's is the best. But she's my favorite anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Catherine, the first Catherine, her costume was just, oh my God, it was so
Amazing.
beautiful. So beautiful. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
And then they all came out, all the queens came out afterward. The kids got all their signatures and pictures with them.
Oh, that's awesome.
And one of them even, Lily Kate posted something on, I don't know, TikTok or something and tagged, and they wrote back, thank you so much for coming. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, so I can highly recommend that.
Yeah. Well, we definitely saw a fair share of shows.
Yeah.
So that was good. And there's still plenty more that we already,
Oh, yeah.
Want to see
Oh, I
next
know. We
time.
gotta go. We've got to go back again soon because there's more shows that we didn't get to see that I want to see. Like, it would have been nice to work in something like Sweeney Todd or whatever. And we just,
Yeah.
We tried. It was, the seats that were left were outrageously expensive.
yes, that was kind of what kept
Yeah.
us. That was our barrier to entry.
There's only
on that.
so many shows you can go to in one trip and, not
Yeah,
being
exactly.
$30,000.
I mean, your
Yes.
your average cost, you're looking at like $200 a ticket.
Right.
By the time they add fees
Yes.
and over that,
If you wanna
know,
see.
Or
if you
more,
want to
yeah.
see, goodness, if you want to sit right up front, then forget about
Yeah,
it.
because we even thought about like Shuck just opened right before we got there, and we were thinking about that.
Yeah, I looked at those tickets.
We looked at those tickets, and it was like, okay, well, we can't really sit together, but we could do it. Maybe we could do like 2 and 2, and then like 2 and 2, and just be around. But then I was like, I don't really like country music all that much, so like I'm not sure
doing
it's gonna
this.
be my jam.
Well,
Yeah.
so our flight got canceled. We were supposed to fly
Yes.
out Sunday morning
Oh, right, yeah.
at like 7:00. So it's about 4:30, and we're like literally rolling our suitcases toward the front door, and we get a
AM?
text. Yes, your flight has been canceled. Like, oh my gosh. So we got on.
What airline?
Delta.
Oh, Delta.
We get on, and Alex is like, well, there's, we can take this 3:00 flight, but we have like 3 layovers. We'll get home at midnight, or we can take this one. I'm like, I'm not doing that. We had a direct flight. I want a direct flight. Let's just, is there one the next day?
Yeah.
So we got to stay that extra day.
It's not like you had to worry about where you were staying.
Right,
you know?
exactly. So that was it was kind of a nice little perk to it.
Yeah.
But we looked at like the last minute tickets to try to go see Sweeney Todd or Anne Juliet, and the cheapest were
Yeah.
$250.
Yeah. Even the last minute
Yeah.
stuff is, yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
because we thought we could squeeze in another show.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
like,
true.
Well, we're doing something else
We'll just
instead.
explore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's plenty of food.
Yes.
I mean,
We ate a
I'm
lot.
still like dreaming about the place, the Japanese place that we found. It was like it's literally just a couple of doors down from where we stayed on
Gotta tell you
35th.
about that place. I have a
Did you
funny
go?
story. Yeah, but you can tell your story first.
Called Mew, MEW. Oh, it was the best Japanese I've ever had. It was so good.
We'll have to try that next time.
Yeah.
So you had said you had loved it, right? So
Yeah.
PJ and I were like, listen, the
We
kids
went
are going to go
twice.
upstairs. Yeah. We sent the kids up. We're just going to go because it's literally like,
Yeah, because it's not
Right from
probably the
the-
kids' jam.
no. So I'm going to preface this with, I like sushi, but I don't eat like sushi. Okay.
You're the California
I eat
roll
like
person.
California roll or like something cooked.
Shrimp tempura.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
like a fishy roll, right?
I didn't realize when I recommended. Sorry.
No, it's still
But
not
like-
your fault.
'cause it's
still
like-
not your fault. Yeah. So I go in.
I mean,
PJ's
we
like,
didn't
okay,
have
let's go
anything
try
moved.
it. Yeah. No. So I go and I sit down, and the place was not busy, but he wouldn't seat me until PJ had come because he had dropped the kids off at the room. So he comes back down. And he's like, okay, whatever, we'll sit. So we sit down. We look at the menu. PJ's been with me a long time, so he knows. He's like, Kathy, did you look at the menu before you came here? I'm like, no, babe, but it's like sushi. It's Japanese, Chris and Kristen went, it's going to be great. And I'm looking through and I'm like, oh, Lord, this is like legit
It's real.
Yeah, it
sushi.
was-
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not,
It wasn't just sushi. Like it was there. It was more than that.
It was, yeah.
It was authentic.
And they did
Very real
they
deal.
had like a lot of breaded things. So I was like, I'm not going to try that because I did not want to have a bellyache in the middle of New York City. So I wasn't going to be adventurous when it came to my diet. So I was like, no, I don't think we're going to do this. And he was like, okay. Now I could tell he was a little disappointed because that is PJ's jam. He's like, I'm looking like, was there a salad?
We would have gone with him, Kathy.
Oh, yeah, you should have taken
A
him.
third time.
I was like.
We took the kids. They ate.
They had
the
some
second
stuff.
time. Yeah.
I was looking for like a ginger salad I would even have or like.
Well, they had some stuff that was kind of like ramen-y.
But ramen
Yeah,
most
I
is not
can't
gluten
do
free.
that. Yeah. I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
But even like some soup, like some onion soup, but not like the tofu soup. I don't like the miso. So I was like, well, like I really tried to look on that menu. And he was like, you want to go someplace else? I said, yes, please. So we put the menu down and we walked out. And I was on the way out. I was like, I'm so sorry, sir. We have to leave. He's like, okay. And we went down to that place called Liberty, which was like two doors down. And we had like, nachos and whatever. So
That was like a kind of a pubby type place,
yes,
wasn't it? Yeah.
right in the middle of where there's like another two little Irish pubs.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
We were looking all over for a good Irish pub, and we should have just gone right there.
Speaking of
Yes.
the Irish.
Not that the other one was bad, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't like authentic.
Yeah.
It was more like a bar. But no, those, and you could sit outside. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
let's talk about the Irish for a minute. Who knew there were
Irish.
so many bagpipe bands?
Oh, it's like
okay,
a
so
thing. It's a
So
thing.
the parade was happening while we recorded.
Yes. But we went over to the Lego store afterwards. Well, the kids were skating at the rink at Rockefeller, and then we went to the Lego store, which is right there. So it was right a block away from the parade. So while they were skating, I was like, oh, let me go walk over. I hear some bagpipes. And I'm taking pictures. I've never seen a bagpipe band before. There was like 42 of them. Like
Yeah.
a bag.
And
they would go
all
through.
represent different.
Yes, they have their little banners, and there'd be a bunch of people walking with them, and the next group would come through, and it's another 40
And they all
bagpipes.
played the exact same
The
song.
same song.
It all sounds
I'm
the
not
same.
kidding you. For
It's that
hours.
traditional.
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was.
Yep.
Over and over and over again. But man, there were a lot of drunk people that day. Because
Yes,
when
there
we went to 6, the line to go in, there was an Irish bar right there.
Yeah.
So we were stuck waiting in line with all these really drunk people with their
We walked through that
shamrocks
to find
on.
that spot where we met up with you
Yes.
so we could hand off Pinky. Because she saw 6, but we didn't see 6.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, because they were kind enough to like say, yeah, well, we'll take ownership of her. And then
Of course. It's like my
set
kid
Alex
anyway.
off on
Yeah.
Pinky's seat and took
And
Pinky
he was
with you.
asleep. I looked up,
So
not during
funny.
the show, but I looked over. I'm like, he's sleeping.
You did say it. You
I
called
did.
it.
I called it. He
Yeah.
can sleep anywhere.
That's
5 minutes. That's all he needs.
So we had to walk through that with the kids. And the bar was like half outside.
Well, yes.
It was kind of that,
We were engulfed.
And it was a nice day.
it
Yeah,
was.
if I remember
and there
correctly.
was a lot of drinking. A
Yes.
lot.
I mean,
of
people
drinking.
started right in the morning and drank all
all
day.
day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was a point where they were like dropping beer bottles and it was exploding all over
What
us.
time did we met you at like 6 o'clock, right? So
Was
it's
that
still
the-
pretty early.
I can't remember if that was the 8 o'clock show. I think it was. That was because
Yes,
it was Friday.
because
Yeah.
our show was at 8. It was the same
Okay,
time.
yeah. So we're there probably an hour early. Mm-hmm. It just didn't make sense to do anything else. So we just
Right.
kind of went over there. And then we found this like little spot with a wall and we could sit on the wall. So we were hanging out and waiting, but we had to walk through that. So we walked the kids through that mess. I'm like, it's okay, kids.
You got this.
hold on to me. We're going to go through.
Yeah.
So we cut through and we find the place. We sit on the wall and we're like sitting there. And then there's like this guy with this girl and they are both totally like just 3 sheets to the wind
I'm
or
sure.
whatever.
I think they all woke up drinking that day.
Yeah, they definitely did. And he was talking about, what was he saying? Oh, is Chris still here?
I don't know where he would have gone. Is he sleeping?
Oh, you're hiding. What was the guy saying?
Well, he wanted to get with the girl.
He wanted to get with the girl. But he had, yeah, that's right. He had a girlfriend.
The new girl.
The girlfriend didn't like the girlfriend, or the girl that was there didn't like the girlfriend.
Oh, knew the girlfriend. Okay.
Yeah.
Do drugs because
Right. He wasn't allowed to do drugs because if he was caught doing drugs, he would not be allowed back in the family business.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
And
So
then they
he had
got up
some
and left.
decisions to
And
make.
he had to help her like walk.
Oh, I'm sure.
Which we saw a lot of that. There was like 3 old ladies walking by, and the middle one was being held up by the other 2. None of them were really good.
In shape to be holding up the other.
No, but the one in the middle was definitely the worst. And the kids were like taking all of this in.
Oh, yeah.
Because they hadn't really seen any of that.
No.
he wanted to get with
Oh, right. Like,
He was being explicit, and she was fine with that.
Oh, geez. Little one night stand.
yeah.
Well, we went to Gail's Broadway Roast, so it's a lot like the Ellen's Stardust, where the waiters sing.
It looked a little better, that experience. You sent that picture or some video
it
or
was
something.
amazing. It was amazing.
A little less crazy.
So we need to do that next time.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
whole
think so.
menu, they can do gluten-free with the exception of the French toast. So Lily Kate was in heaven.
Nice.
And, your waiters, they take their turns singing. But there was we were sitting, and then the bar was right there. So this drunk lady, I mean, she was, I don't know how she was still sitting up. And every time they would start singing, she would look at us with her drink and start singing to us. And the kids are like, what's wrong with her? I'm
Like, what is she doing?
She's trashed.
Yeah, she's totally
Don't make eye
flawed.
contact because she'll come over and sit down with us in a minute. And when we wouldn't look at her, she'd look at the guys next to us and try to sing to them.
Yes.
She was gone.
We learned not to mess with the wildlife.
Yeah. Oh, man. Tell the story.
Oh.
The coffee story.
Yes. Okay. So our first morning, our first like sleep, whatever, we get up. PJ and Chris are like, let's get coffee. There's this, and we had like a list of foods that we wanted the kids to have while we were in New York.
Like, bagels.
Like bagels and pizza. And I wanted them to have like a dirty water dog, which by the way is not the same dirty water dog that I remember as a
I
kid.
have no fucking clue
I'm
what
like,
that is.
What? That
Okay.
sounds disgusting.
So-
I know,
Why would
it
I want
doesn't.
dirty water on
I'm not sure.
hot
Okay,
dog?
so it's like part of the childhood experience for me.
Which is never what you think it's going to be.
No, it was disappointing.
Yeah.
And I didn't even try one, but it was on the list. So I can remember growing up, being a little girl, going into the city, and on the corners of the streets, they would have these hot dog carts, just carts. They wouldn't have like advertisement on it, how you see now, like the Sobretti, whatever. It was nothing like that. It was like authentic, like whatever hot dogs in the water. That's probably, they use the same water for like a week straight. Lord knows how. That's why I call them dirty water dogs.
Now I understand.
And with like the buns, they're a little crispy because they're a little stale. And you have like the mustard
They
and
got
the
'em
ketchup.
cheap that day.
Yeah, but they're cheap.
They didn't even,
and you walk
they
by.
just took them off the garbage.
Yeah, and you get a hot pretzel, which is better than probably any hot pretzel you've ever had in your life with the salt, and you get a dirty water dog, and that's your thing. And you keep walking, and you're eating your lunch. So I can remember that as a kid. For whatever reason, that felt good to me. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna get that. And I go there, and I'm like, where is the? This is not what I remember. There's no Sombretti, like beef stick. Chris, we never even
I know.
got.
Chris never got his meat on a stick.
Oh, those
No.
are good. We got that one day.
Yeah, they had all that stuff. So anyway, we had this whole list. So one of them was the bagels. So we got up in the morning. Anyway,
Continue.
PJ was like, okay, you know what?
Just slide those in occasionally.
Yeah.
That's what she said. The kids do it too now, which is really disturbing.
That is.
Oh, that is disturbing. That's all right. They'll get it. Apples, trees, it happens,
Oh my gosh.
So
I just
Yeah.
don't want us to forget to talk about Drowsy Chaperone.
Oh, I know.
So
Yeah.
keep
We're
going.
not done.
yeah. We might have to take this episode and make it 2.
I know.
Because we're just
Maybe.
talking
I don't
so
know how
much.
long we've been recording so far.
Probably a long time.
Maybe an hour so far.
But anyway, so PJ's like, okay, we're going to go down. We're going to get bagels. I'm going to get a coffee and like a Kaiser roll with butter because Kaiser rolls are just like the best. Okay. So we go down there. Chris is with us. Clearly we look like horrible tourists because we're all dressed up like we're in Aspen, for the weekend. We got
Gabby's.
Well, they got
Rose
like,
yellow.
oh my God. But they're also like the
that
puffy
works.
stuff.
Yes.
So she's like, bright yellow Stay Puft marshmallows.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, that jacket came in handy. because
did.
We
You
never
find
lost
her.
her.
Yeah, you
Absolutely.
didn't lose her.
So we're standing there and he's like, what do you want? And there's people that are like clearly on their way to work and, just need to get their coffee and do their thing. And here we are, like this group trying to figure out what we want. I'm like, oh, can I have a bacon and egg on this? But I don't want this. And I want the egg. Like I'm being a total, Sally from When Harry Met Sally. And the guy's like, listen, I can do this, this, and this. And PJ's like, all right. So PJ's ordering. So this homeless man, okay, he's clearly homeless, comes up. He's a tall gentleman, took up some space. And I could see he's like hovering next to us. And I got the kids. Because remember, this is our first morning. So we're all like, stay close to me, kids,
Yeah,
no
put a leash
comfort
on.
whatsoever going on. And the guy is like right behind PJ at the thing. And so I'm like, hey, babe, I think he wants a coffee. Get him a coffee.
Your
PJ's
first mistake.
My first mistake.
Which is horrible that has to be a mistake, but
PJ turns to the guy. He's like, you want a coffee? The guy's like, yeah, I'll take a coffee. PJ's like, hey, get him a coffee. He's like, you want cream? No, just black. Okay, yeah, whatever. Maybe some milk. Guy's like, yeah, I want milk. I said, babe, get him a bagel. Get him something to eat, And the guy's ignoring me. Like, not even worried about having a bagel for breakfast. So PJ gets the thing. The guy, he's like, all right, 26, whatever. So PJ goes to hand him his card. And the guy's like, no, I only take cash. And I'm like, I have cash. Well, I have cash.
Says it out loud.
I've got cash.
Yeah, I said it out loud.
Pull it out of my bra.
It's in my back pocket.
So much. It was falling through the air.
So
The homeless guy's like, cha-ching.
Exactly. So it
Clearly your
in
first
my
24
leg-
hours in New York.
Yeah, on my crossbody, like underneath my jacket, underneath my sweater, underneath my scarf. I'm having to like do everything to get to my money. I pull out my little wallet, that's like a nice wallet, and I'm like, I had like $1,000 in there because you never know when you might need some money. And so I pull it out when I only got 50. So I'm like, well, babe, I got a 50, and so I give it to PJ.
Waving it to PJ.
Yeah, I was. And meanwhile, people are like leaving because they're like, this is taking forever, So PJ goes to pay the guy. And the guy's like, okay, thanks. And he gives him, money back. Well, PJ had already handed the guy the coffee. Okay. And the man's still standing there. So the man goes, hey, I want some cash. And PJ's like, no, I already got you a coffee. Now, the truck is literally like 200 feet from the hotel entrance. It's not far. So Chris is like hanging back because he's thinking, okay, this may not go very well for PJ.
And I'm going to sit back and watch.
Yeah. And I got the kids. So I'm like, okay, we're just going to walk. Right now, I've had to put everything back into my wallet. I've had to zip up my stuff. It's a production. Okay. And so I'm walking with the kids. And this guy is hammering on PJ like, I didn't want that coffee. And every other word is an expletive. Like, coffee, like, blah, 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 like
Drop
all
the
this
sound
stuff.
down on that.
Yeah, sorry. There's a lot.
That was a bad one.
Oh, but that's what this guy is saying, like all up in PJ's ear,
When is the F-bomb a problem for you?
What? It's a string. It's when it's a string. I drop the sound
string.
whenever it's a string.
sorry.
It's like every curse word I know strung together, I will drop the sound down in the recording.
well,
Sorry, guys.
This guy was just
The occasional F-bomb's one thing.
Yeah, sorry.
The look of confusion. That was that look on my face. Like,
That's how like angry this guy is getting, right? And PJ's like, no, I got you the coffee. That's what you got. That's what you wanted. That's what you got. You're not getting any cash, And so we all start walking. So then now Max is getting concerned. I'm like, no, it's okay. And then Chris, thank goodness, was like hanging out by PJ. And so as we're walking, the guy is yelling at us, takes his coffee and throws it at us.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, throws it at us. Now, luckily, whatever brand this truck uses for coffee, lids and cups is pretty sturdy because even though he chucked it at us, the lid never came off.
Wow.
Okay.
Which is good because I heard it was
Very
really
good.
hot.
Yeah, Chris said to PJ, he was like, man, you're lucky like that lid stayed on because that coffee was piping hot, Like it could have done some damage.
Well, yeah.
And it hit right behind Gabby. And so the guy got so upset and so pissed off. He goes and he picks up the cup, he takes off the lid and he goes, "Rrr," and like throws it back on the ground. Like PJ's like, really, dude? Really? I'm trying to help you out. And then they just walk.
That's what you get for being nice in New York.
Yeah, you don't do it.
That's right.
So that was day one. And from that point forward, nobody got shit from us.
That's right.
I know. It's unfortunate. That's because there's on the subway, a lot of guys would come through and be like, hey,
Yeah.
I need some money. But I'll tell you what, there's some super nice homeless people that helped us at the subway because they could tell
Oh,
we
that
were
was good.
the first couple of days trying to figure out what side do I need to be on and am I going uptown or downtown? And they were super helpful. It was really nice.
That was Chris's job. He was
Yeah,
the subway dude.
it tells you like, Google Maps or whatever, or Apple. You're like, I'm going here, and it tells you take this to this.
Yeah, we
uptown,
figured
downtown.
that out eventually.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, if you miss the sign, like, because there'll be like a J, but is it uptown or downtown?
Right.
Like, you don't
and
know
the
which
uptown's
one
on
to
one
go.
side, and you got to go upstairs and go on the
Yeah.
other side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we figured that. The hardest part was getting off on the right corner. So you'd get to your stuff,
Yes,
and then
you're like, are we
figuring
going
out.
to the northwest or the southwest?
There's like
which one?
a block this way is the one I want, but I'm not sure. So
Yeah.
that was the hardest part. But
Yeah,
otherwise it was
There was
good.
a couple of times we just popped up and would have to just cross
Yeah,
the street.
that's what we did.
Yeah, you just don't quite know where you're going to pop up at. But, it's unfortunately the kids got a really rapid lesson in, So we would, every time we would pass that corner, because, every day
Yeah.
we'd come out, Max would be like, I wonder if our guy's here. I wonder if our guy's here. Like he
We
wanted
didn't see
to
him
like,
again except for that first day. 'Cause
Yeah.
we did see him when we finally came down. And I had already heard all about it from Chris.
yeah.
So we're coming down there, and I was like, is that your guy? And Chris is like, yeah, that's actually the guy.
the
But
guy.
that was just that one day. He moved on to a different corner, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just remembering homeless is a bad word now.
What?
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, I apologize.
Unhomed. Wait, there's a different word we're supposed to be using, so I'm terribly sorry to everyone listening.
Oh, I was completely ignorant to that. I'm so sorry.
No, I heard it the other day on a podcast I was listening to.
Oh.
And you're not supposed to call them that anymore. So
Okay.
we're sorry.
Sorry.
Insert new term here. I'll Google it.
I think it's
We're just learning these things.
shelter.
Shelterly challenged?
Something like that.
I don't know.
Oh, gosh. Where's my phone? I'm going to pop over there and while you keep talking.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we want to
What do
make
we-
sure that we're being cognizant of these things. I did not know.
I don't know that I'm on board with
talking
this one,
like you.
guys. I'm just going to say.
No.
Lily Kate had found a bunch of gluten-free restaurants.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
bought, before we left, we bought a big wall map. So it was like a 6-foot map of Manhattan. Mm-hmm. And we took those little tabs you use when you're reading a book,
Yes,
little
yes.
see-through ones. And so every show we were going to was a tab in yellow. Mm-hmm. Every restaurant we wanted to go to was a tab in blue. Everything we wanted to see was a tab in green. So we could kind of see where everything was clumped together and try to hit all those places in one day.
Yeah.
But she had found some amazing gluten-free restaurants. One was called Modern Bread and Bagel.
Yeah. Oh, you had shot me some
Best bagel
stuff on
sandwich
that,
I've ever had. Totally, the whole place was gluten-free. And the other one was Posh Pop Bakery, which, oh my gosh, everything in there. Cakes, cookies, cake pops, cinnamon rolls, funnel cakes, like anything you could think of was in there. So we had fun doing that. But I'm gonna look up this term.
Yeah, look up that term because we don't want to offend anybody.
Well, we had the TV on at one point in the hotel room, and they just random channel where they were running the same, 5-minute story loop for a 24-hour cycle.
Yeah.
So it just caught our attention. Third loop around, I think, and they were interviewing the girl who's the lead she's Christine in Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, okay.
And who
Isn't that
I was
Spencer's
trying?
friend?
It is Spencer's
Yeah.
friend, and I was telling Laura, I'm like, we need to get her on the podcast. You need to work that out,
Yes.
through Laura, through Spencer to this girl playing Christine. Anyway, and so she's on the TV and she's like, you have to go. Is there one thing that you have to do? They ask her the question, that you have to do before your show, and she's like, oh, I have to go get my cookie at Schmackery's.
Oh yes.
And I was like, there's the cookie place we've got to go to because the kids wanted a cookie.
Yes.
Where we were always on the hunt for what's some good food.
Right.
Because we didn't want to eat the same thing more than once. We wanted to diversify and, do some stuff we hadn't done and, not hit chains and that kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, we try to stay away from that stuff for sure.
Yeah. So we found that was one place that we kind of like, okay, we're going to go there. Everything else felt more like and the Stardust Diner. Everything else kind of felt more like loose.
Whenever we got there.
Yeah, kind of more when we got
so
there.
we can talk about Carmine's. Should we
That's
talk
true.
about
I
Carmine's?
mean, that wasn't my pick.
Let me throw this in there
That was
before
my
you get to
pick. I
Carmine's.
feel horrible about that.
Unhoused or houseless.
Oh, okay. Houseless, not homeless.
So you didn't think you were going to learn anything on this episode. There it is. Here's your nugget to take away.
Yes.
Well, I don't know.
Unhoused.
There might have been some other things to learn, like don't give coffee to a homeless guy.
There you go.
Or you'll get burned.
Houseless guy.
Maybe do a little bit more research on your
Try that
VRBO.
again. Don't give coffee to an unhomed person, an
Damn
unhoused.
it.
Listen, these
I'm
things
not
take
going to
time.
get it. I'm not going to get it.
I know.
I'm gonna
Well,
keep
maybe you could at
fucking it
least
up.
like pause. You might not remember what the word is, but you can say to yourself, "Oh, I'm not supposed to say that anymore."
I don't know if I'm going to insufficiently home.
Insufficiently homed, unhoused, or houseless.
Listen, the guy was just a jerk. I mean, call him what you want.
Just call him the jerk on the
He
street.
was just a jerk on the street,
One of many.
taking advantage
I was
of
a jerk on the
being
street
nice.
sometimes too.
Well, yeah, but you didn't throw
Oh.
coffee in anybody.
So, we moved, when we sold our house and we moved downtown Lakeland, we were like, okay, we're going to take the kids. We're going to do a lot more walking. We go and visit things downtown. And Michaela she is the rule follower. And she's always, there's not a crosswalk line there.
dear.
Can't cross here. But we always cross there. And we get a lot of shit. Because she's like, you're jaywalking and the police station's right there and we're crossing right in front of the police station. But there's not a crosswalk there. You got to go down and then you can, whatever. Anyway, so for months we have caught so much shit. Then we get to New York.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Nobody felt
it blew her mind. It really did.
all those people.
And I'm like, I just would grab her and we'd start walking because everybody's walking. There's no cars
Like,
coming.
no, it didn't
Even though the
change
walking
yet.
guy isn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's not lit up. It's the hand and it's saying no. And she's, Mom, no, Mom. Fucking walk, or I'm leaving your ass behind.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're
well,
gonna get run
Lily
over.
Kate almost got run over by a bus one
Oh,
time.
right.
We were same thing. You walk when you walk. There's nothing coming. So we were
Yeah.
following this, clearly a guy who lived there and knew what he was doing. I'm like, follow that guy.
Yeah.
So we're following him, and he went, and Lily Kate's got her cute little coffee cup, and she's looking at it, and she's walking across the street, and all of a sudden, I see this bus
Oh my God.
barreling down at her.
Oh my
The driver had no intention of stopping. I could see it in his eyes. Like, he had his hands on that steering wheel. He's
Girl,
like,
she's gonna
"I
be
got
flat
one.
on my
I got one." He was coming right at her. I, grabbed her jacket and pulled her out of the way.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was going to take her out. He felt good about it, too.
Yeah.
Did you did you get honked at as a pedestrian? We
Not
got
really.
honked at as pedestrians.
It happens.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It
kind of the
happens.
name
I'm
of the
surprised it
game.
didn't happen more frequently, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
How about when we were walking back from that great Italian place that we ate
Patsy's.
at? Oh my gosh, yes, that was delicious.
I was
And PJ
not
was-
as big of a fan.
Oh really?
We weren't either.
I had the chicken marsala and it was
But we
delicious.
hardly ordered anything because we were not.
Yeah, you
hungry.
guys just got salads
Yeah.
and stuff. It wasn't, but I had a meal and it was delicious. Much better than Carmine's. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I am going to disagree.
What did you order?
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Okay, well,
How do you miss that?
It was yellow and really creamy. It was just cream.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry
it was
about
kinda
that.
like-
That sucks.
I'm just saying,
No,
there's
I
some
know,
winners,
I
some
know.
losers.
Yeah.
That was not a highlight of my food journey. No.
That place. Well, when we
Nor
were
was
walking,
Carmine's, but it was better than
we'll tell you our Carmine story too. Yeah. We totally got taken advantage of there. But anyway, so we go and we're walking and PJ almost got legitimately ran over by, was it a motorcycle or a,
Oh, no, yes.
Yes.
I saw that happen.
what was that? Was that
It was like a delivery guy, like a DoorDasher or something. And he
Yes.
just cut the corner and about took PJ out.
Yeah, he about did. Yeah. That was
it was
kind of
close.
scary.
I think he probably ran over his toe. It was that close.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And,
no, I
and
missed
PJ
that.
was obeying the,
Yeah. That guy had no intention of stopping.
There was a walk light.
There was a walk
and it was
light.
not a
The
hand.
man's little
No.
white man.
it was
You can walk.
legit. Yeah, that was scary. So Carmine, so we're like, okay, we're going to the city, we're going to Broadway, got to go eat at Carmine's because it's like a thing, right? Okay.
Not my choice.
No.
I agreed.
So, yeah. And we were able to get reservations. So I was like, okay, we're just going to go. We're going to do it. So we go. Now, there's 8 of us, and they literally sat us in a table probably this size. So we're all,
Oh man, it was
it's cozy.
real
It's
friendly.
cozy.
but everything in New York was like that.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah,
just
it
On top
was.
of each other.
Everybody just
It
needs
was.
to shower every day.
And we had lots of stuff, right? Like our jackets and our whatever. Yeah. Now, funny, the couple that sat right here next to us, they were super funny. She had these huge shrimp and cocktails. She's like, hey, you want some? She was super
wow.
nice. We were talking.
well, we were all up in her table, so
Yeah, we were. She really didn't have
your
much of a
fork.
choice.
Oh, let me have a bite of that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're with
I
your
literally
hairs.
shared the booth with her family member that was right there.
Oh, my gosh.
So anyway, so we ordered some stuff. Now we
pile
know
of jackets fell on him at one point. It was pretty funny, actually.
It was, exactly. I think Gabby lost her gloves at that. Well, she didn't lose them. I think she left them there by accident, but whatever. So we order, and it's family style, right? So you order stuff. Now, I know Gabby will eat. Max, he's going to eat some bread and butter. He's not going to probably eat anything else. Her family might eat a little bit. Pinky will probably be maybe just a little bit. So we ordered pretty conservatively, like one pasta dish. The only way I could do gluten-free is if we got the big, huge thing. And I'm not going to make everybody go through that. So we just got the one pasta thing, a chicken, and some
We got a breaded chicken
tomato.
and a regular chicken, like a
Yep.
dish.
yeah.
So the kids could have some chicken parm, something that was familiar to them.
Yes.
And then a lighter pasta that didn't have a lot of
Like an angel hair with
an
lemon
oil
and
base.
butter. Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
For them. That was good. So anyway, and then Chris and PJ had ordered some mozzarella and tomato as a little app. So we thought we had plenty of food. Well, the waitress is like, oh no, I'm telling you right now, this is not enough food. You need at least 2 more things. And we're like, oh my God, are you serious? So I'm like, all right, well then I guess I'll get some gluten-free pasta. So we got some gluten-free pasta. And then we got, which we did not realize that it was literally the size of the table, but it had sausage and chicken and potatoes and onions and peppers in this big, huge
The sausage is
platter.
a surprise.
Yeah, we didn't know about the
It was
sausage.
a chicken named dish.
Sauce. I don't like
It's like the chicken blah, blah, blah. Well,
Yeah.
we ordered the chicken blah, blah, blah. she's not lying. It came out. It was like the size of this table.
It was huge.
It was like a
turkey platter.
Sunday brunch that your grandma did type thing.
Yeah. You didn't need anything else if you did that.
Right.
No. And did we get salad too, or no? Did we not do salad?
Yeah, I think there was also salad
there was a
too,
salad.
but it wasn't like a big salad.
No. So she pretty much upsold us on about $100 worth of food. Okay. So
Which killed PJ's soul.
it did. Only because we couldn't take it home.
We couldn't. We were like leaving that to go to a show. We were going to Hadestown, right? That was Hadestown.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry,
'cause
PJ.
I know.
You know, he hates to be
Dying
wasteful.
for
He doesn't mind spending money. Like,
Right.
I'll spend money on some food, but dang, like, I mean, and he
We
even
left so much
said,
behind.
if I wasn't going to go sit at a show right now, I would still be eating because I don't want to just leave this here. But we did.
Well,
left-
we ordered the way we ordered initially because we didn't want to feel like ass sitting in the show. Your stomach rumbling
Yes.
and you're feeling like,
Go to sleep
Yes.
because you've eaten so much.
yeah,
Yes.
we were just worried about that.
It really kicked off the moral of our whole entire trip is stick with the plan.
That's right. When you make a plan, stick with that shit.
What was the original?
with the
Oh,
plan.
the plan of
The
what
original
you ordered.
plan.
plan
It's just
was
a couple things.
these two things of chicken, this one thing of pasta. That's plenty. We know our kids. We know what we're
Yes.
able
Yeah.
to eat. We know what's going to feel comfortable.
That's
you know.
yeah. We don't eat out a lot, so when you've been there for several days and all you're doing is eating and eating, you just can't. There's only so much you can take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We found
So-
that out pretty quickly.
Any other time we would make a decision, we'd be like, nope, we got to stick with the
Stick with
plan,
the plan.
regardless of
That's
what
right.
it was. Like, if we were going somewhere or a different route we were taking or different food we
We
were
did
going to
deviate
order.
at one point from the plan. It was like, see,
Yep.
we
See what
should have
happened?
stayed with the fucking plan.
Stick with
I
the
don't remember
plan.
what it was now, but it was that.
Yeah, stick with the plan. So anyway, so that was interesting. So thank you, Carmine. So of course I had to put my hair back and make it short in the back.
You Karen.
So when,
She's like Iron Man with us. Like, we'll push a button and she
so when the
nanotechnology. Her hair
server
changes.
came to give us the bill, and Chris and PJ pretty much handled everything financially. They would just flit everything down the
Right.
center, But anyway, she handed the bill, and I was like, "Listen, thank you so much for all of your recommendations, but it was really very too much food. Like, we didn't need to order those extra 2 dishes. So thank you for that. Like,
We're
I
gonna
was
tip you on the
mad.
dishes we originally ordered.
I think tip was probably already included. To be
Oh, probably with that many people.
But I was like, "Are you serious, lady?"
Yeah.
We totally got
Totally bamboozled.
we got bamboozled. But that's okay. I don't ever need to go back to Carmine's. It was
Yeah.
fine. I mean, not that
I'm
I'm
glad y'all
giving
did
it
that
a
because
bad
I kept
review.
hearing and hearing we should go to Carmine's and
No,
So
you didn't miss.
my first trip to New York. I was 9th grade. Marching band went for Macy's. So those school trips, right? They plan all of these, stops out that are world famous, and you have to do this. So that was one of those world famous stops that we had to do.
Yeah.
And my remembrance of that, and it may not be accurate, so I'm willing to acquiesce that it may not be accurate.
Right.
And
Like the
that
dirty
when you're
water dog.
a 350 or 400 piece marching band and everyone in the band is going to Carmine's, that perhaps the food experience is not going to be the norm.
Yeah.
I know that
Or very
now,
good.
but at the
Yeah.
time, my experience was this. We arrive, we're all hungry, the food is cold.
Oh.
The bread that they gave you were the rolls, and the rolls were hard.
God.
break a tooth.
Oh,
with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, as an adult, will never eat at Carmine's ever again. So that was why I was like, I'm not sure about Carmine's, y'all, because that was not my experience in 9th grade.
Now you're really never
Yeah.
going
But
back
we,
again.
she's
did a
not.
couple of those types of stops. Like there was that Chinese place that's in Times Square, close to Times Square, and everybody was talking about that ahead of time. Like, oh, we
I
should
don't
go to
know.
this. And I was like, dude, y'all, I remember something moving in the soup.
Oh, jeez.
Because we went to that place when I was in 9th grade.
Oh, wow,
And I
that
was
was
like,
bad.
I don't know what the fuck is in the soup, but I ain't eating it.
Oh, I didn't know about that Chinese sauce. We didn't have any
And
Chinese
that was the
while we
day
were there.
before I was like even remotely adventurous with food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We went to the Canal Street Market. It was all Asian
We
food.
didn't make
was
it down there.
So
We were-
good.
we
We
on
didn't.
the
We talked
list.
about going
Yeah.
to Canal
We wanted to
Street.
take the kids, do the
Delicious.
whole experience.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Buy some
wanted
art
to-
from a guy that has it all laid out on a sheet,
Yeah. I wanted
that's
to,
when we
I
walked
wanted
the
to go
Brooklyn
down
Bridge.
and get some shady purse.
Did you end up getting any of that art?
No, we were going to go back and get it because it was. I'm so mad at myself. It was
Yeah,
so
you
good,
should.
and it was like 3 for $30. Just these great little sketches. But they had several of those type vendors out there with artwork.
Yeah. We bought art once years and years
Yeah.
and years and years ago when we went to New York.
Yeah, I didn't see
Off
anything
those
else I
guys.
liked, but yeah. regretting that decision. But walking the bridge was really fun.
Oh, I bet that was fun. Was it a nice clear day?
Beautiful.
Like, wasn't
Beautiful
cloudy
day.
or foggy? Oh, that's
The day you guys left was cold.
yes.
It was
It was
so
cold here.
Yes, my
It
mom
was
was saying
cold
it was
here.
cold here.
Yeah, we walked outside. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was like, feels like 20. I'm like,
It was
yeah,
like we brought it home.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to go, there's the thing called the High Line, which was an old railroad, like elevated track, but now it's like a park type thing that you can walk near
Okay.
That's
Chelsea
cool.
Market. So I'm like, it was so cold. I'm like, I just want to walk up there and see it. Like, we're here. We're literally right here. We just have to walk up these stairs.
Yeah.
We got up there. I'm like, oh, no. I'm down.
Way
The
worse up
wind
there.
is whipping through there.
Yeah, the wind.
Oh, it was so cold.
Yeah.
That'll get
Yeah,
you.
we were not prepared for that.
We did travel down a little bit, and we went to that Jewish deli,
Oh, yeah.
which was so much fun.
What was the name of that place? Cats.
Oh, yeah.
Cats.
We were going to go there, but we never made it.
Yeah, Cat's Delicatessen.
Apparently, you can take gluten-free bread there, and they will make your sandwich on your bread.
Really?
Oh,
That's
that's
what we
nice.
had read, because we had planned to do that. And just,
Oh, I didn't even know that. Well, that was quite an experience. You walk in, you get like a little ticket, and if you just want like counter service, you have to stand in line or whatever, and then you can get a seat if like there's one available. So one of the other things we've realized is with 8 of us, it's difficult to dine and all sit together. So we had a couple occasions where we split up because
Kind
hunger.
of thought it would be a problem, but
Yeah.
we were like, we're going to do it anyway.
We're like, oh, we'll roll the dice.
Yeah.
Well, this place was able to accommodate us. So we just waited a little while and they took us in the back and we had this table.
Sat in Mikey's room or whatever.
Yeah, Mikey's room. And on the wall were all the pictures of the famous people that were there. I texted
Cassie's like, we are famous. We should have our picture on this wall. And I'm going to make it happen.
happening. So we talked
We're
to
not on
our
the wall, by
waiter.
the way.
yeah, no.
But we did
We're
get
not
our
famous
picture.
either.
We did get our picture.
I don't know. Shania said that you were famous.
She did say I was famous. Well, we
Oh,
were famous.
did she? Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. So I was like, hey, we need to meet our person. So we got our picture taken with our waiter, but then the owner was there. So I think like we had seen him in the pictures and then he walked by and Kristen was like, I think that's the owner. And I was like, stop, really? Well, this restaurant's pretty famous.
Yeah, it was very famous.
It's a big deal. So I was like, okay. So we talked to him. He was super kind.
Yeah, he was really nice.
Yeah, I was like, oh, can we get a picture?
Yeah,
He's
like he
"Yes,
cared.
okay."
It was really great.
Good stuff. So we got our picture.
He's like,
Life
oh,
is
you guys
good.
are famous, huh? Yeah. Kathy's like, listen, let me tell you all about how famous we are.
Yeah.
Embellish. And I was like, oh, shit.
You don't know. I'm not even sure if I use those words famous. But anyway, I did use the, hey, we can cross promote, like he needs to promote.
Right, exactly.
Whatever. But that's okay. He doesn't know. We had
smiled.
a great time.
Yeah,
he
sure, he's like,
smiled.
"Oh, this crazy
He remembered
lady."
us after. Yeah.
Get a picture so she can get out of here.
Exactly. Move her out. But it's all right. It worked. We had fun. So that was a good time. The
We did
sandwiches were
cross-promote,
huge.
right? I think Chris posted and tagged.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
we did. It was good. It was a good experience, So yeah, we got to have that. But that was probably our biggest trip out of where we were staying.
Yeah, that was
Like,
the longest journey.
It was our longest, yeah. But it was a good time. And then of course we did other things other than Broadway. Like we went to the 9/11 museum. So that was fun. I ended up having like an episode while I was there.
I
That
know.
was
I
not
felt so bad
fun.
for you when you're having that happen.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, your heart?
Yes. It was horrible. Like
I hadn't had that in a while.
we had walked. No, I hadn't. We had walked around, and I don't know if I was getting like overheated too. That was part of it. But we went down to where one
That was
of
the day before it snowed.
Yeah.
It was real, like, wet that
Yes,
day.
it was like
Must have been your first
misty.
day because it snowed the day we got.
It was Monday.
No, it was Monday, yeah.
oh, right. We
arrived
came
Saturday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Monday. And we were walking around one of the souvenir stores down there. And I was like, oh man, I just started to like not feel good. I was getting nauseous. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. I said, PJ, I'm going to go sit down. And he was like, okay, he knows, So I go and I sit down. And of course, Max is a warrior, so he follows me. And he's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine. Like it's a process. I just have to go through it. Like my body just has to reset. But the resetting piece is miserable. And then I get hot and I just start stripping.
Oh, my
Like, I take
gosh.
my hat off. I took my jacket off. I took my shoes off.
Gagging and coughing. That poor lady on the bench next to you. You okay?
I have a mint. You want a mint? And I told Kristen, I was like, listen, if I wasn't in a public place with that lady sitting next to me,
Yeah.
I probably would have vomited.
Right.
And it probably would have helped me,
Would
to
have
be
been
quite
better.
honest.
Yes.
Yeah. But I didn't. I tried to keep it together. And she's like, are you dizzy? I'm like, yeah, I just need a second. Like I just have to let it do its thing. And your body goes through all the checklists, to reset that. And then I was like, you guys just go. You guys just go. Do your thing. I'll be fine. And PJ wasn't even really worried. Like, he knows. So he's fine. And then I turned. So everyone had left. I turned to Max. I'm like, buddy, I got to go to the bathroom. Because that's just part of the process, And he was like, okay. I'm like, you stay here with my stuff. I would have never left my kid alone at the 9/11 memorial on the bench.
But we weren't far. We had wandered basically around the corner, so we weren't far.
Yeah, I'm sure you're keeping an eye just in case. And then once I went to the bathroom, I came back. I was like, yeah, I'm good to go. We're good for the rest of the day. But yeah, that wasn't fun. But the 9/11, that I had not been back there since the actual 9/11 attacks, and it was moving. It was very.
Alex and Stella went in. I couldn't. I have a friend who died from college, and we found his name.
Did you? Yeah.
And I just lost it. I'm like, I can't go inside. I can't do this. It was like so. You could just feel it.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
You can feel it. You can. My brothers had a girlfriend in college that had passed away there. So we were able to find her name and I took a picture. And then, you go in there and they have all the photos. And then there is that room where you can go in. And if you stay long enough, you'll hear everybody's testimony of like families
they
and friends.
stayed and heard the testimony and everything. But,
it's just
even
wild.
just thinking about it now, I was like, oh, I can't.
I know.
Yeah, all the twisted scraps of metal and that were, beams and integral parts of that structure and how twisted they were. I mean, it's
very powerful.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, to think what had happened to make that occur,
Yeah.
And I had told PJ I had never realized how close the buildings were to each other until you see the footprint.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they were super close, And then so to think
I don't
back on that day.
When they existed, I don't think we went down to that area ever. So I never saw them except for at a distance.
Right.
In the skyline is one thing, but
We did when we went to the Statue of Liberty. I think we kind of made our way down there. I mean, this was years and years ago.
Yeah.
Museum of Broadway. That was fun.
That was lots of fun.
That was so
That was a lot of
cool.
photo ops.
Oh my gosh.
I had such a good time in New York with the new camera, the Christmas present camera.
Yes.
And
And we got her new lens that first day.
Yeah, we went. That was the first. Yeah, because I was going to order it ahead of time, but I had waited, and then B&H was their Jewish run, and they had a big holiday. And when they're on holiday, they don't take orders online. Right. And so I was like, okay, well, they're closed on Saturday when we arrive, but they open up on Sunday. So we'll just go down. I've been wanting to go to the, photo Mecca, store, and I've been wanting to go. So we went, and I got this awesome lens. And
it was so cool.
You see it sitting on your counter over there because it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's like a monument.
She's big.
She looks heavy.
Big.
Yeah.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah.
We kind of cut our teeth on exploring New York City, walking to
Where
that.
was
So that
it?
was kind of cool.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, we.
I don't remember.
Our GPS.
Even with all the
Go
subway,
here.
right?
Yeah. And then we walked.
Even with all the subway
For a while.
rides, our lowest walking day was 7 miles. That's the day we got there. Our biggest was 12 miles. So somewhere in between there is kind of where ours.
I went back and looked at the step counts for that whole week, and I don't think we were under 16,000 steps.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, any of those days. We had one day where we were lighter than the rest by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The day you guys went and saw Anne Juliet, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were 5,000 steps lighter than all the other days. But I think our average was 16,000 steps, which is, I don't know, 6 or so miles.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And it's funny, too, with the kids' perception. The first day, we'd be like, oh, we have to go 6 blocks this way. Oh, my God, 6 blocks. But then, third, fourth day in, we're like, oh, that's 10 blocks this way. They're like, oh, 10, that's easy.
That's nothing.
No, because
Right.
they've realized that.
Unless it's really cold and you're like, oh, 6 blocks.
Yes. Or if you're going an avenue. So if you're going this way, the blocks are a little bit
Long,
longer.
okay, so how long is this block? I
know.
see the light down there. Just keep going. Because we walked from
Yeah, but it wasn't that light. It was the next one, and you're like, damn.
yes, we walked from 9/11 to Harry Potter. That was our longest single walk.
Yeah. I think when we went to Central Park and then walked back to Ellen's and then back,
Yeah, we did that too.
that was probably one of our longer.
Yeah, I did that in the not walking shoes.
Oh,
So I had the Hey Dudes the whole time, but that day it snowed, and I was like, I bought boots. So I wore the boots, and then we walked the most we'd ever walked that day. That was like a 21,000 step day.
Yes.
And I was like dying.
Oh, I bet.
Because those boots were not made for walking, as it turns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you pop into Target and buy
We
something
went,
else.
yeah, but we ended up back at the hotel and then before the show. And so we were like,
So it got changed.
Yeah, I went back to the Hey Dudes.
Yeah.
They're the most comfortable. I think it's because they like the box toe is
Right.
bigger. And so your feet are not like,
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
wore my running shoes, which, speaking of, I keep speaking of things.
Yes,
Speaking of the
oh,
Irish.
it's your turn to squirrel today, huh?
I am going to squirrel. So that Sunday that we were supposed to go home was the New York half marathon.
Oh.
So all over we kept seeing people they have like these, I don't want to say metal blanket, but these like disposable
Yes.
blankets, like, you know,
yes, yes.
and they're ribbons. And I was like getting so jealous. So I was like, next year I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying
That's
to.
because you're crazy and you're that runner person.
Oh, I just want to see. That would be such a fun course. So I'm looking for the dates.
Okay.
They haven't posted the date of it, but it was obviously this time of year. So
Yeah.
we're going back and I'm running that marathon.
You
Half
should.
marathon.
We will be right there cheering you on.
At some point along the
Angela.
route.
Yeah, I need you guys stationed along the route. That's what Alex usually does.
Yeah.
He stations at certain. He'll get
Yeah.
in his car.
A little cup for you.
Yeah, here's your power bar. Or here, let me take
Yeah.
that jacket for you. Because when you start, like it was cold that day, so you start with a ton of layers. But once you get going,
that makes sense.
Yeah, usually you just kind of throw it off on the side of the road, and they collect it for the unhoused people.
Oh, yes.
But
In-house.
he's before where he's met me, and I can throw things at him at 6 miles or whatever. So yeah,
You know, that's what the server said at Carmine. She was like telling PJ when he's having, coronary because he can't bring this food with him. And she's like, oh, you can just leave it on the side of the road. Like leave it
I
on the
wondered,
sidewalk.
yeah, with all that extra.
Well, we
food.
want,
yeah.
there was,
Which is interesting. I'd never even thought
later
about that.
later in our stay was trash pickup day, and like the trash started piling up on the sides of the roads.
Yeah.
And I watched a couple of homeless people like going through it. But they didn't give a shit either about the mess they were making.
No.
But they were definitely digging for treasure.
How about all the dogs that just pee on the trash?
I don't think I saw any dogs.
all over.
No,
I
how
mean,
about
like
the ones
wild
that just drop a
dogs?
deuce
They
right
do.
there.
Oh, well, yeah.
And they just walk
Everybody
off.
walks through it.
I know.
Everybody.
We
I
would
know.
say that, be like, oh, dog poop, dog
Yeah,
poop.
there was a couple of turds.
Yeah.
I was like, did somebody just walk along and shake it out? Like, or was it a
Shake it
dog?
down their pants
I
like-
don't know.
Exactly.
Like my underwear.
It was questionable. Oh my God. Yeah. That's hysterical. But yeah, I don't know. It was very,
Wasn't fart, sorry.
yeah.
My bad.
Snuck right
Because
up on
there's no
it.
green, so the dogs just
Yeah.
you know,
Oh,
they feel like
and I
it.
guess
I get so embarrassed when Milo just decides that when
Dog
we're
owner.
walking
Yeah,
him
yeah.
outside and he's just like, here on the sidewalk, I'm going to drop my deuce,
You're like yanking him and he's
yeah,
dragging
I'm like,
him
no,
along.
just in the grass. Just get in the grass. He's like, no, it's happening. It's happening.
it's touching cloth. Yeah. So,
What did you just say?
it's touching cloth. You never heard that?
Turtle head poking out.
Yeah.
Crowning.
Frowning. Cece.
Oh God. So funny.
Flipper.
Flipper. That's like
don't
a
know.
teeth flipper.
No, is it? She said turtleneck. It wasn't a head. Michaela, when she was little, she was like, I got a turtleneck. And we're like, whoa, the whole neck. Emergency.
That's a
My
problem.
brother will kill me for telling this story, but he injured his back severely one time, and I went to take care of him for like a couple weeks. And he was on painkillers, which make you very backed up.
Oh, yeah.
So there was one day I knew he was in pain, like he needed to go, but he couldn't. So
Yes.
he walked out and he's like, I just gave birth to Flipper.
Oh dang.
Gosh.
Poor
Oh,
guy.
I know.
Oh,
Yikes.
I know. That's so true. And then the older you get, that's what people worry about. Like
Yeah, they don't leave the house because they haven't gone to the
If they haven't done their constitutional or whatever.
Well, I mean, when you're a parent, it's all about poop.
It is.
We've
circled
said
back.
that a few times.
We have circled back to the poop.
Well, Parvati, when she was real little, she had really horrible problems. She still kind of does today, and we have to do, like Miralax shot for her,
Yep.
to help her out. But
She's gonna be so
she
embarrassed.
doesn't listen to our podcast, so I think it's fine. But she'd get in the bathroom. She'd been there for a while, and you'd hear her, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, and you're like, what is happening in there?
was coming, but it was gonna
It
hurt.
sounded like a freaking exorcist.
Oh my God.
Oh, poor thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
tell the good news.
Oh, she's in Harrison.
Yay!
I hadn't even posted about it online. I bumped into it to Teresa. I was thinking in my head because her name is spelled Terica. I'm like, Terica. And she knows, and I've mentioned this to her. She's like, yeah, you're not the only one. But but yeah, I saw her last night because we went to see Drowsy. And I was like, she's in. And she's like, oh. And I said, I didn't post about it. I didn't, I don't know. It felt a little braggy, but I am really excited for Pinky to be in.
Especially after seeing
are too.
Drowsy last night. So we saw the Drowsy Chaperone put on by Harrison. It was amazing.
I was crying. I was laughing
I've never
so much.
heard you laugh like you laughed last night.
So the pit, apparently, because Michaela at intermission went down to the pit because all her friends are down there, and Tyler's down there, and so she was talking to them, and they were telling her that they could hear her laughing, and she's like, I wasn't and she's like, oh, I'm gonna listen. So she comes out after at the end of the show, and she's like, Mom, it was you. The pit heard you and Laura.
Oh, and I was right behind you.
Both dying.
Oh my God.
Laura was
Stop.
slapping both me and Chris because we were, mom and dad, and she was in between us. And she was slapping and hitting and grabbing. She was
I couldn't
dying.
stop. I was crying. I must have had makeup all down my face. Adolfo.
Yes, he was
killed
amazing.
me.
Yes.
He was amazing.
So I can't wait to see Broadway Stars of the Future nominations after this one. Because I felt like, we'd just come back from Broadway, and I felt like
Here we were again.
we're right back on it.
Yes.
They didn't miss a note. They didn't miss a beat. Like even when there was
It
little
was so
mistakes that
good.
happened, they worked it into the show. Like when somebody dropped when they were supposed to be playing the glasses with two spoons and dropped one. Like, well, I can do it with one hand.
Yeah. This is how
She was
I
doing this, and it was tinking.
Yeah.
But it was only one tink.
Yep.
Oh, they were so amazing.
So good.
So excited that
Totally forgot that you were at an auditorium,
Yes.
in a high school.
high school
Yeah.
auditorium.
It was amazing.
Amazing. So
They're
we're
just-
very excited for her.
Yeah.
And Lily Kate walked away going, I need to work even harder because I have to go here next year.
Yes.
You want to be a
Yes.
part of that.
Yeah,
You do?
yeah, totally. Remind me before we're done to circle back on Harrison conversation because I have something to say offline.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Perfect.
something learned.
Okay. Perfect. Yay. We love that.
Yes,
We
but
love
I
that
don't know
stuff.
that it's worth.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. No
It is
worries.
almost 2 hours going on here. So
Are we seriously?
Are we?
Holy shit!
We're gonna have to do a
you can
part
tell we
one,
haven't
part
seen
two.
each other for like a couple weeks.
I know it has been. Yeah,
Okay.
COVID. It was
Yep.
rough.
Yeah. COVID was not fun.
No.
I never had it before. And I had to go to New York and get it.
Doozy.
No one else in the house.
It was almost as bad as the first time I got it.
We escaped because we weren't around you guys especially at the end. We weren't around you as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Well, thank God for steroids and antibiotics.
Now you're immune for a little bit.
Yeah. It'll be
We
good.
just suffered in our house.
Did you?
Yeah.
It was rough. But anyway,
He never
but we
got
came
it.
out. It's so
Again.
crazy. That the disease is just wild to me.
She's
It
immune.
just
They should
picks
study her.
and chooses and
I don't know
who
if
it's
she's
gonna-
even ever had it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like she doesn't get sick. She does, but she's never caught COVID when we've had COVID.
Yeah.
And we've known it was COVID.
right.
you know.
Right.
Have you tested her? Maybe she's just asymptomatic.
We did the first time around when we all got sick. We tested.
And she was always negative.
Yeah, she was always negative.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
But anyway, so yeah, we can.
It's been enough time. And then I need to do your headshots, and then we can get out of here.
Yeah, we'll get out of your hair.
Got nothing going on today.
Do you want a headshot today?
Does this look like a headshot worthy? I'm going to pass on that
today.
one. Not
Okay.
today.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get taken care of. Well, we had so much fun, and we'll have
Go on,
more.
do some good.
We're going to see Little Shop of Horrors tonight
Yes.
We're not.
You're not going.
next week,
Because
right?
Stella wants to go, so we're waiting.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, we're going tonight, so that'll
Yeah.
be fun.
I agreed to
We'll let you
SM.
know all about it.
That's right.
Is it
Orson.
Orson's Shadow? I think is the name of it. It's a stage read at LCT.
Yes.
So I agreed to
And?
stage manage that, and I agreed to stage manage Margaritaville.
Yay!
So yeah, we were gonna do
have a
that
fun
one
summer.
of those summer intensives for Parvati, and I was like waiting on that, and then we kind of talked with her a little bit, and we're like, we're gonna not do that this year. So that freed up that, and then I could text Alan, who's been waiting.
Oh.
Because he actually like messaged me like almost a month ago.
Oh,
now.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, because he didn't want another.
Right. Oopsie.
Yeah, you waited too long and I filled up my schedule. So
Yeah.
he wanted to slide in there first. So I let him know that, I was
Nice.
going to be free and
to go.
would like to do it because I do want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun show.
And then Finding Nemo auditions are coming up
Yes.
at LCT
Yes, the
if you've got
15th.
kids interested.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll
2
be a fun
weeks.
show.
2 weeks.
And
Are you
Marine's
guys
coming
auditioning?
back to direct that one.
You guys all auditioning? Pink gonna audition?
I don't know. I've asked her, but I haven't received a final about whether or not she wants to
She's
do it. I
got
think
time.
she will. I think ultimately she will. But the day that auditions happen is April 15th. And we have tickets to Mean Girls because I got those tickets a few months back. I got them for Pinky's birthday back
Well, maybe
in
you
November.
could go early. What time's your show?
So yeah, I got to email LCT and ask for an early slot so
Yeah.
that we can get in there and out because we're seeing the matinee that day. So we got to be out in Sarasota at 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's cut
But it's just me and
close.
Pinky.
So maybe she
I don't
could
think
be
they
like
start
one of
till
the.
noon.
10.
Oh, okay.
They start at 10.
Maybe you can be like one of the first.
Yeah, if we can slide in and be in there at 10,
Yeah.
then she can audition and we can be out. I don't know when callbacks
That'll be
are.
good. I
but-
don't know. Jordan asked
Two.
me to help with auditions.
me too.
Okay, perfect.
The table.
So we'll
which
just
is so
hang out.
fun seeing all who shows
Oh, you're going
up.
to do Nemo audition?
Just working
working
the table.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Just help them.
Nice.
So
All
we'll do
right.
that.
A lot coming
All
up.
right. Yeah,
Frozen.
we do. So
Frozen's
everybody
coming
stay
up soon,
tuned.
too.